did that yesterday. I saw a guy in the street who was really into Alan Partridge. Like he used to sing at our place. And he was at the bank, so I was like edging my way out. And I did it like, aha! Like that, and I smacked a tourist in the face. So I was like, oh shit, sorry. But like I did the aha, and then like, because he wouldn't have seen the other guys, so he would have just seen me like go, aha! And then like you just hear someone else down the street go, aha! Like that. It was cool.
That should be the start of the podcast before the
I was thinking that, yeah. So it's Friday, and we all know what that means.
Mothering Sunday?
No, it's time for the Pedestrians podcast. Man, I don't know why I'm doing that voice. It's time for the Pedestrians podcast. It's the official beginning of the weekend because no one has ever used that before.
No,
as like their little tagline. I don't think
we're the first.
We're the first ones to use it.
Andy.
Yeah.
There's another person in the room. Do you know this person?
I do know this person. It's the third pedestrian.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe could be the first or second, but. We're going to get into chronology or what?
No, I don't think.
But the third person in the room is Tom.
I was getting a bit awkward because I wasn't sure if he was supposed to be here or not.
Yeah, just sitting there,
just staring.
Yeah. So we got Tom, who's like who's going to start being phased in because he's been out of phase for a little while.
Yeah, me and Geordie LaForge.
Yeah, just out of phase there, just in the background. But so Tom's going to be on the next two here with us.
So Tom has come to visit you?
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Hello all.
But I was going to try and sell it as though he'd come just for the podcast.
You should.
We'll edit this out and we'll just be like, Tom came over for the podcast. Because that would make us feel like we were bigger than we really are.
We need a spurt in numbers.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
I like using the word spurt.
Do you?
Yeah. It's just, what do you get in your head when you hear the word spurt?
Running.
Yeah?
I think
balls.
Oh yeah, I think balls as well.
I think like the money shot.
Yeah, I do as well. Spurt. So, what the fuck's been happening this week?
I went to Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
As you sort of.
Well, yeah, I was there. I was there the night before you went, and
you saw the beginning of the carnage.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I distinctly remember your brother saying you shouldn't be drinking a massive beer right now. And you going, fuck it, and just buying one anyway.
Buying a litre of beer at 2 o'clock in the morning before you got up for Oktoberfest.
Yeah. What
was that woman serving us with
that was a bartender.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have those.
That's the name of the bar. Oh, right. What was the drink that she served us?
She was serving you. It was the one with like rum shots in it as well.
Yeah.
It was fucking. I can't remember what it's called. It'll come to me. But okay. it's like a few shots of rum in beer. And some kind of like spirit in there as well. It was fucked up. It's really bad.
Nasty.
It's really awful. Yeah. But I thought I'd put your brother onto Swagler, which is the dark beer. Which the girl said, she was like, no, it's like 5.9. And I was thinking it's not. It's 6.3 because I've looked on the bottle. Jesus. So it's 6.3% alcohol, which is pretty a lot.
Is that still going on now, Oktoberfest, or is it finished?
No, it's got another week.
Yeah.
Really?
Because it's still October.
Yeah. So it's like a fest. For October.
Yeah.
But there's a K in it.
Yeah, I know, because it's German. It's German.
It's just like, when people are trying to be cool and they start like cool with a K. That's
like Toys R Us and they put the I backwards and it's all confusing.
Was the giraffe called Jeffrey?
From
Toys R Us adverts? Because it's like there's millions said Jeffrey all under one roof.
Yeah.
It's called Toys R Us. Toys R Us.
The giraffe.
I think it was Jeffrey. Yeah.
But they needed to explain that a bit better.
They did need to explain it, but we're explaining it now because again we fucking confronted hard issues on podcasts. We've taken them on head first, and we're getting the answers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think that commercial might have run for like 15 years.
I think it might have run for a fucking long time. But this isn't the commercial podcast.
You're looking at doing a commercial podcast?
We should do one, yeah. And the book cast.
And the theatre cast?
Theatre cast, yeah. No, we've got to cover all these different cultural fucking things.
Because we know a lot about a lot.
Obviously. I do, yeah. Tom goes to theatre, I think.
Nah.
You look like you're someone who goes to theatre a lot.
It's because I've got my glasses on.
Yeah, sorry.
I think you'll think it's pronounced theatre.
Theatre?
Yeah.
I'm going to the theatre.
Yeah.
I do my best, so I try really hard and then don't go.
So is this a Gamecast?
Well, I was still telling you about my weekend. And you're to tell me about your weekend.
Wait, let me get this straight, right? So is Oktoberfest happening here in Bamberg right now?
No, it's in Munich.
It's in Munich,
You have to be in Munich for it.
Yeah.
No one else is like doing a big.
Well, no, there are. You get like kind of
Germany.
You do get like little Oktoberfests around, but I think the original and the best
Yeah.
Well, I say
There's
best.
one in
The
Dublin.
Iron Brew of podcast.
Yeah, it's the Iron Brewer Fest
Right.
is the Oktoberfest
Yeah.
in Munich or München,
That's
which sounds a bit like
exactly
Munchkin.
How far away is Munich from here?
about 2 hours on the train.
Yeah, but well, I think it's like 3 on the train. It depends which train.
You
The
guys
IC
went already.
train is
Yeah,
two.
if you're on the ice train,
Yeah.
then you're there like
I
quick.
don't even drink beer, really.
I don't.
There's a little like carousel thing that serves like champagne.
Is there?
Tiny in the middle of the whole thing is a tiny little champagne place.
So that was that. So how did it go anyway?
Well,
I heard rumours.
We-
But,
during the middle of the night, my friend got up, and because I had the shutters closed, you can't see anything. You can't even see your hand in front of you. He tries to get to the toilet and decides to pull down my bookshelf of DVDs.
in your house?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you said yeah.
So he tries to open the door, which is my bookshelf, and it collapses on top of him. My brother gets up when the alarm goes off, walks across
And
the room,
pissed on him. Like-
walks across the room, turns the alarm off, and then goes back to bed. So we missed the train by like an hour and a half.
Fucking hell.
Finally got there. My brother was a busted flush after like 3 drinks. He gets taken home at 9 o'clock in the evening. The two of us, I can't remember. I remember getting thrown out at one point. I remember paying a guy €10 to get me back in. This guy was just hanging about outside the tent.
Just
I
a
gave him
random.
€10 and he pointed to the queue to get in. That was the worst €10 I've ever spent in my life.
Well, you thought you were bribing some official, and it's just like the queue's there. You're
I
like,
thought,
ah.
I thought there was going to be like a Great Escape type kind of tunnel, like dug under.
Was it like? But I imagine it though as though you were like sat down in one of the shoe shine things. You're like, I need to get into Oktoberfest, and he's like, oh, I'm not sure I know how to do that. Wink. You know, there's a tenor. He's like, queue's there.
Essentially, that was it. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh man.
So I just recovered my voice yesterday.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, you were a bit fucked on Monday, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the podcast got pushed back because, like, I guess people would be all the people that are listening to the podcast will have been expecting it to come out on like sort of late Wednesday, early Thursday. But we're a whole like day and a bit behind, really, and that's more to do with Graham's lost voice, Tom turning up a day later than I thought, and generally I just couldn't be bothered to get prepared,
Yeah.
so we're a bit late.
And also I'm pissed off with reunification day because today's where Germany reunified,
Yeah.
and it meant that my Shadow of Mordor game was supposed to arrive today, but because there's no
Oh,
fucking post.
and that'll be Monday because Saturday's tomorrow,
Yeah.
and Germany's like the 80s.
Yeah, there's barely in the post. So essentially, David Hasselhoff is costing me my Shadow of Mordor game.
Yeah.
And as you know, he is entirely responsible for reunification.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Is-
I think he shouted, Mr. Gorbachev, please tear down this wall. I think it was him that said that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, he hassled with his Hoff.
It doesn't work, does it?
Nah, sorry. I
Hoff
need to
is a
work on
German
that
word.
one.
What does Hoff mean again?
It means like courtyard, like yeah.
So you could say hassled the courtyard.
Yes, he
Yeah.
walked into
Hassled the court.
courtyard.
Yeah.
It was like,
Court.
Mr. Gorbachev, please tear down this wall with your Weinstein. And then Kit's like, Michael, there's some big men approaching. Should I open the doors?
And by open the doors, I meant the wall.
Yeah. Because Kit was like clearly, you know.
I always found it odd that he would, like when he was in the car, he would always drive manually. But if
Yeah.
I had a car that would drive itself, especially with
Wouldn't you just get in the passenger side?
like M6 traffic,
Yeah, you
I'd
get
have
more
been-
leg room. You could read a book. But it's like, he gets into that side where he's all surrounded by console.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are you doing? And that fucking steering wheel, right? What if you needed to, like, go around a
Cross
corner,
your
it's
arms.
required that you cross your arms over to, you know what I mean?
You're not supposed to do that technically.
Yeah, I know.
Supposed to
But
be
I'm
different.
sure that a kit-style steering wheel is probably illegal in most countries.
I'd say
My
so.
dad used to have one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I love your dad already.
Wasn't it like hyper attentive,
Sensitive.
so that you didn't have to like wind it all the way
I
up?
like you use that word.
And if you were doing a 3-point turn, you wouldn't do that yourself. You'd be like, Kit, can you do the 3-point
Like,
turn?
kick, do a 3-point turn, or just do like a rude boy burnout and just
Yeah.
spin it around in the
then
road.
you take over then. But the fact is, like, right, he's being dropped off in the desert by Devon, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good few hours from anywhere.
Yeah.
So and it's all straight.
Yeah, you just like, you could literally just like lock your knee against a steering wheel and it'd be the same.
There's no fun in it. Just sit in the passenger seat, read whatever books were in the 80s.
Well, there was a +2. There's like a +2 seats in the back of those cars.
Yeah,
So it's like it's not really comfortable. Not for Hasselhoff because he's quite tall.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like your knees would be hitting all the stuff. But you could put the seats forward.
Maybe Kit would get annoyed, but like, you know, Ben Stiller and Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Larry David in the back seat.
Yeah.
And he tells him to get into the front because Ben Stiller doesn't want to feel like a taxi driver.
Yeah.
Maybe Kit wouldn't want to feel like a taxi driver.
Oh, I see. He doesn't want to offend Kit.
But then where is Kit's consciousness? Because he's like, does Kit feel like he's in the driver's seat?
Wait a minute. It's going to be more offensive to Kit, isn't it?
If you sit
say, look, I know that you're a machine and you are this car.
Yeah.
So basically, you've got a much better spatial sense of like what you are and what your capabilities are.
Yeah.
Right. But me, as a flawed human with a much lower spectral range and like just a general sense of kind of the spatial size of this car, and your abilities, I've decided that I can actually drive better.
Yeah. It's like really condescending. Like Kit,
It's really
I'm going to
condescending.
take over on this because it might be a bit technical. Kit's like,
or maybe it's like Maggie's steering wheel in The Simpsons. Kit's actually driving, but like making it look like Maggie.
He's sort of just like placated. He's just like, yeah, you're doing a great job, Mike. Yeah. This is fucking. You're really doing a good job, man.
We'll give you some alcohol and a cheeseburger later on.
And then you can piss yourself.
But think about it; it'd be so much more efficient. He could perm his hair and everything, like on the road.
Do you reckon he's got naturally permed hair? Or is that like a thing?
There's work in there.
Yeah,
he's done some work on it.
So, Tom, how was your weekend?
I've been a bit sick the last few days, but really just started Monday actually. So, what did I do at the weekend? I went to a party in Dublin.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a barbecue. I ate some sausage. I drank some wine. Met some people. It was
that does sound like a party.
That's textbook barbecue.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a proper party right there.
That was pretty.
Was there some music as well?
Yeah, I believe there was some.
Did people kind of gently sway onto one foot and another like this?
Yeah. The party was hosted by a French lady, so like all the music was French.
Did you just play like Nouvelle Vague and try and pass it off as real French music?
No, I don't know English music. So
No,
don't know any French music either.
Yeah, I find that like people who want to feel like they're fucking a bit like a cut above.
Yeah,
I always know those people because you're talking about like alternative music and whatnot, and it's always the person that goes like, oh, "Have you ever heard of a band called Nouvelle Vague?" And I always feel like saying, "Why don't you get the fuck out of my house?"
Yeah,
you fucking patronising dick.
The worst bit is when you say, "No, I haven't," and they say, "Oh, you haven't heard of it?"
Yeah, and you're like,
battering the person about.
Yeah,
the
like
face.
fuck you.
Right.
Yeah, like anyway, do you know the band Nouvelle Vague?
Fuck off.
You haven't heard of them?
What do you mean you've never heard of it? Yeah.
So,
yeah, man. So you went to party?
Yeah, that's it. Like nothing. I worked all week. Went to a party. Nothing massively cultural, I'm afraid.
Did they have party snacks?
Yeah, there was some like it was really dark, like where the actual barbecue was happening.
Yeah.
So like I saw what looked like sausages, like in this bowl, and I thought, oh, there's some pretty cooked ones there.
And it was gherkins.
So I just picked it up, started eating it. It was just like a gherkin. And I was like,
But gherkins are okay. But if you're expecting a sausage and you get a gherkin,
yeah. But because I was at a party, I just had to carry on eating it because otherwise it would look like I'd made a mistake.
Oh no, because you'd be like Tom Hanks in Big, where he like eats the fucking.
The canapé.
He like kind of eats out of his mouth like.
Yeah.
Everyone around you would be like, he's made the gherkin sausage mistake.
You turn up and you're like white tux with gold embroidery.
A schoolboy error.
Yeah. You overdressed, Tom. You overdressed.
Yeah.
What about you, Andrew? How was your weekend?
I actually can't remember. I'm trying to figure out what I did now. Saturday, I've got no recollection. I honestly don't. Oh yeah. I bought a turntable following on from last week when with the present. Bought a turntable, €50 in a brilliant record store, and I've just got to get a phono preamp so that I can actually listen to it.
It's good that we have a thread to our podcast.
Yeah, there's like a thread going through because we like to keep people hooked in because everyone really wants to know
what's happening with the turntable.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't cover the turntable this episode,
It's
and
like
they'd be pissed.
Of EastEnders.
Yeah, and then Sunday just sort of I was catching up on a lot of the modding things, and then the rest of the time I was just kind of preparing for Tom's arrival. Just sort of like.
What did that involve? Your preparation?
It was mostly just getting stuff out of the way. I was doing some design stuff and like bits and bobs. But yeah, so I was just doing that. It was just preparation.
Did you clean for him coming?
Yeah. It was mostly just like sweeping stuff under the carpet, kind of. You know what I mean? It was like
literally,
like yeah. It was. It was like, do I really vacuum or do I just like do a cursory sweep?
Did you metaphorically sweep anything under the carpet?
A few things, yeah.
Have you got a few skeletons in the cupboard?
Yeah, we don't. Well, there's certain things we just don't talk about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so.
I suppose you do know you're kind of aware I've got quite high standards, so you had to like do something.
Yeah, it's just kind of make sure everything was good, and I just like clean some of the semen stains off the sofa these guys sleep on, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I brought my black lights, so
that's good.
I'll hunt for them later.
Yeah, because there's always some cum stains around. Fucking on, I think it was Saturday daytime. I was like having a drink over at like our local little haunt where we always go, a Cafe Express, right? And I was like sitting with a lot of like English speakers, and we were all talking about like slightly weird things, and I just got into this conversation about like a cum rag, and like how when I was younger I just have like a cum rag, which I would just like try to not wash, just like try and keep it going so it'd go all like crispy. And I went into like really mad detail about this fucking wank rag, and then like one of the guys with us, he was like, "Well, I'm glad we're in Germany where people sitting around us can't understand." And then the woman next to us was like, "No, we're from America." And the people on the other side were like, "Yeah, we understand everything too." It's like, so I just had to leave. I was just like, "I'm gonna go." Then it's like I didn't even pay for my stuff. I just told someone else that I had to pay, and then I just left because I was like, "Oh,
just a stranger."
Yeah, it was just horrible, man. They just knew what I was talking about
the whole time. And
now I'm admitting it to like the tens of people that are listening to this.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah. So that was my weekend. Really, wasn't great. There was nothing interesting.
The cum rag's quite interesting.
Cum rag was quite interesting. Yeah.
Moderately interesting.
Yeah. The aim is to turn it into like a Dorito. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's crispy, so you can just like crack it. Yeah.
I once had this female friend, and she was over at my place with her boyfriend, and we set up this sofa bed in my room, and we all went to bed, and the guy said something like, "Oh, you don't have any hankies next to your bed, like tissues?" And I was like, "No, I just rub it in my chest." And the guy turns to the girl who was like my best friend at the time, and she was like, he said to him, "You tell him everything, don't you?" He's like, and I was like, she never told me anything. So I had to tell her a story about how, I can't even remember the story, but at one point he had like encrusted cum on his chest there or something like that. It was just absolutely.
And he thought that she told you.
Yeah, but I was just.
And you were just being like playfully witty.
Self.
Yeah, you were like. Not forced wackiness.
Yeah, no, it's just
like straight up.
Yeah, my innate wackiness. Yeah. So
that was the weekend.
Come to video games.
Yeah.
Come to video games.
Welcome.
Yeah. So. Spiders.
I just remember that video. Just like leave the car, just saying come. Oh my god.
Come.
Fucking hell. Get out to the games, man.
Tom, have you played anything?
I'm only just really kind of getting back into gaming since being 12, really. Mm-hmm. It's like I just accidentally like started making money for the first time in my life. So I bought a Mac, which is a terrible idea if you're into games, I suppose. You got such a more limited range to work from.
A more limited range.
It's more better for other things. But
is it though? Is it better for other things?
I don't know. I learned to edit on Final Cut, and then I was kind of stuck with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I've kind of moved on from that now anyway. So it's kind of all right. I could probably get a PC now and be okay. It'll be all Windows again.
Yeah.
You know, so I might consider that. But one of the games you can get for a Mac in Tosh is Portal 2.
Oh, okay, good.
I just finally got around to actually playing that.
Yeah.
And, I was put off the idea for ages because I was thinking, well, it's like you've got a gun, but there's no one to kill. And I just like killing people.
Yeah.
And then I got into gaming, obviously. And I thought, well, this is a better way to kill people without actually killing people.
Yeah.
And
because you can't just kill people.
You can't just go around killing people.
Well, I mean, not even in Dublin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's frowned upon there as well.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Or unless they're in a different country.
And then it's okay.
And it's fine. Yeah. But we're just not getting into the troubles.
Controversial.
Yeah.
So basically, I think the point I'm really trying to get to is that Portal 2 is a good game.
You enjoyed it? I saw an article about how it's better for your brain than actual brain training games.
Because you have to you literally have to think around corners. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because you're like thinking in all dimensions.
You got to think fourth dimensionally.
Yeah, you have. And like the one thing I like about it though is like how you can like if you're up in a hard mission or like you just get bored, you can just play. You know what I mean? You can just be like, oh, I'll just make a hole here and there, and I'll just like kick a box through it. I'll just go on this endless loop or something. I love that fucking. I just love that about the game. You can just play with it.
I just loved how entertaining it was because you start playing and you got like Stephen Merchant's character in it.
Yeah.
And you're thinking you could just like make this the whole game, but it takes like so many different interesting tangents and stuff.
Have you played any of the other like Valve games like Half-Life 2? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I played Half-Life and Half-Life 2 back in, the times that they were out. In, I think it was yesteryear they were out.
Yep.
And so I played them then, and I tried to get them again and play them, but like they just felt a bit too dated for me to get.
They are like the first Half-Life is so fucking dated when you look at it now. What you see and you're like, fuck me, that really wasn't that great. Do you know what I mean?
I was never a PC gamer, so I've never played Half-Life or Half-Life.
I had it on. I think I had it on the PlayStation.
Really?
Yeah, it came
they
out.
released the Orange Box, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was like it was on when the 360 first came out. I think they like released it there. It might have been out on the original Xbox as well. I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know.
I had a PlayStation 2 though. It was like a console.
But you had games for it though. Oh, you only had a PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I didn't just have the PlayStation 2 and no games. I didn't just look at it.
It's like, I'm going to go and buy Silent Hill, and then just like bring it back. It's like, I don't have a PlayStation 2. I just like read the box endlessly. Yeah, like use the disc to like as a frisbee.
Well, you used to get those really interesting manuals that you could read.
Yeah,
the death of the manual. I remember getting in my birthday, if you had to go to school that day, getting a video game for my birthday and then taking the manual to school because I couldn't play the game, just sitting reading the manual all day.
But it was partly to show off that you got a game.
Yeah,
and people would be like, "Oh, have you got Mortal Kombat?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, man, I got Mortal Kombat."
Yeah,
fuck you. And it's on the Mega Drive. None of this no blood bullshit on the Super Nintendo.
I think maybe the peak of all that was probably the GTA series, wasn't it? Because you got so much additional content. You got the paper map and everything.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, man. Because they brought and it got all these kind of fake adverts in there and stuff as well.
Yeah,
that was brilliant. Actually, they really revolutionised stuff. I think anyway. Yeah. But the original top down was so fucking cool.
Yeah, but you used to have to actually refer to that map to get around.
Yeah,
you didn't have a map screen.
Yeah, you didn't have a little map thing going on, so you had to literally have the map next to you, or on the wall behind your behind your CRT.
And do you remember with GTA 3 when that came out, that you still had that option? You could still play the whole game top down.
My mind was blown when GTA 3 came out. We talked about this before, didn't we? I couldn't. I literally. I was like, you mean it's all 3D? You could get into fucking cars, you could see. I couldn't believe it, man.
I mean, you get a prostitute, your car starts moving.
Yeah, and I remember that little touches, you'd get into a car and steal it, and the door wouldn't be closed properly. And if you kind of slowed down and sped up, it would just go too.
Yeah,
things like that, man. I was like, fuck, man. I just couldn't believe what they'd done. I was like, this is madness.
One thing I don't like about GTA mapping system is that you're constantly getting taken out of the game because you're having to look at the little thing there, the little thing in the corner that shows you what way you have to go.
Oh, the map, the actual map itself.
I think there needs to be something on the game, something telling you on the game you need to go.
Well, that sucks a bit though because then you've got too much stuff in your heads-up display.
Yeah,
it's nice to have it down here. It's like a little sat nav. So but it's more like driving then.
I just feel when I've got that, it's taking me away from seeing what they've done with the game. I'm looking at that instead of looking what's in front of me.
Where you're actually going.
I'm missing all the good art styles.
Do you reckon they could do an option where you can have the little circle, or you could opt for a sort of a slight overlay, or just sort of pointers
in the distance or something like that?
Yeah, it seems to be I know what you mean. Yeah, you're right. You are right on that. A nice that would be an option. And I know Rockstar listen to us.
Yeah, of course.
To for ideas.
Cause you specifically?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they listen to me and Graham.
There were subscribers from episode 1.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, all of them. Everyone
that works for them or has ever worked for
them. Or will ever work for them.
Jeff Rockstar and Paul Rockstar.
Yeah,
they're both subscribers.
They're both and old Richard Rockstar.
Richard Rockstar.
Yeah,
they're real rock stars of the industry. Those guys.
They are. Yeah, they listen to this. They listen to us, and they. I mean, they've stolen some ideas in the past, but we just let it slide. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even though we weren't out at the time, these are coming out.
They just held us.
But they stole it from the future.
Yeah.
Well, they heard us speaking in the pub. Yeah. We're in the. I forgot what the fucking pub's called now. That pub on the corner, right by where Rockstar is in Edinburgh, where Ewan McGregor runs down the stairs at the beginning of Trainspotting.
Oh yeah.
It was called the Black Bull or something.
Right.
Yeah, we were just in there drinking, and some people from Rockstar were in there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea. These guys are going to go and start a show, and we should steal their ideas first." But we just let it go.
I think the idea we had was we should make a video game, and then they just ran with it.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a beer mat. We wrote we should make a video game, and they ran with that idea.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
I think the makers of Pong are currently in a lawsuit against them for making games.
We made a video game, and then they just went and did the same thing. They just made a video game too.
Copied us.
Yeah. But just a slightly old thing. But like now there's like three of us together. What's everyone's opinion on the whole like Candy Crush saga, like patenting of the use of the word candy and saga and shit like that?
Yeah, there was like this Nordic game that had saga in it, and they had to take it down.
And it's like
that's shocking.
How can you patent the use of a word in a title? Unless like if your game was called Saga, then you go, well, okay. If someone else brings a game out called like Saga 2, then there's an implication that it's to do with the first one.
Sure.
But if you just say like, if you put the use of the word Saga or like the Chronicles or something, it's a fucking term, man. How can you?
Or if you created a new word like Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
that is, you've created that word. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've created that term.
Yeah,
but you can't put other terms together that have been in the lexicon forever.
Yeah, it's like it's not like I thought that was a really weird fucking decision, man.
It's probably more. They've probably got more of a case if it's like the most active word in it. For instance, let's say you've got the game Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Yeah, and then some competing studio
brings out like Peter the Hedgehog.
Tell how current I am, kind of, by bringing up Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, but then someone else is like. Oh, this is a character that's also a hedgehog, right? And it's like Graham the Hedgehog, right? But in that situation, they're probably okay. But if it was like Sonic the Giraffe, they'd probably be in more trouble.
And it's a blue giraffe.
Yeah, that runs really quick.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I just thought it was a really because they said themselves they were like, oh, well, we're not going to obviously like uphold this on everyone that uses the word like candy. And then they go and fuck someone over for using Saga in the correct way in the fucking title of something that's not even a game that's like the game that they made. It's a completely different genre. And they're like, oh, you can't use Saga. We used Saga. It's like, well, so fucking it's in the dictionary. You're going to sue them as well.
What
just
about
like
Sergeant Candy from the deleted scene from Terminator 3?
Maybe he's got a case to sue Candy Crush.
Well, the thing is, it's established that they had time travel as well. So they easily could have travelled forward and gone Candy Crush Saga. Sergeant Candy came back to the fucking, came back to the Terminator 3 studio and been like, we're doing this Sergeant Candy scene. And then they filmed it all. And then afterwards, someone from Candy Crush Saga came back through time. And
Christian Bale shouted at them.
And then they were like, you can't do this. In the future, they were like, they were like, in the future, we painted the word candy. And they were like, we've got to delete the scene.
Yeah. And that's the film I want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I think it's a case of, when you're playing poker and you've got like most of the money, you can just bully everyone out of the game.
Yeah, you can.
I think that's basically what Candy Crush Saga are doing with us. The small companies that don't have
I only know about Candy Crush because of invasive marketing.
Yeah.
So I don't think I should even be aware that it exists, but I do. It's like One Direction. It's like I shouldn't know anything about them, but like they're intrusive. Yeah, they're forced. It's violating.
It's like you've been molested by One Direction.
Yeah.
Can you hear his music outside?
It's jaunty.
Just I'm wondering if like on the podcast, there's just kind of like some weird like circus-esque music in the background.
It'll be like the first episode of West Wing where there's just music in the background for the whole episode.
It's that really patriotic sort of.
Inspiring music.
Yeah, inspiring.
I nearly turned it off. I love that show, but after the first episode, I was like, I can't watch this. It's just music the whole way. The musical.
Isn't it all like do 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 do? It's politics. Do 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 do. Is that just the Forrest Gump music?
It's like if you typed into Google patriotism and then went to like YouTube, that would be the music that would come on.
Duty.
Martin Sheen.
Way.
The funny thing about West Wing, Martin Sheen wasn't supposed to be a big actor. He wasn't supposed to be the main star. He's only in the last 5 minutes of the first episode.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and then they tested really well because Rob Lowe was supposed to be the main man.
It was supposed to be about him.
It was supposed to be about the workers of the president and not actually the president.
A bit like how you never see the Prime Minister in the thick of it.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be like. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Rob Lowe apparently was not happy, and that's why he left after a few seasons.
That makes sense actually, because he was still liked in the show, but it was strange that he left.
Yeah.
I thought that was just that they were building up to finally see the president. I thought that was the whole point.
No, well, that's just what I've heard. Andy, you've been playing anything, doing anything video game?
Well, for me, I finished GTA 5 again. I don't want to talk about GTA 5 all over the time though, because the last two things, that's what I've been playing. But I refinished that.
You refinished it?
Yeah, I refinished it. And I did some Red Dead Redemption EM just while I was in the Rockstar mood. It's the Rockstar show. We should get sponsorship from Rockstar. But I did that. But mostly, man, I've really been trying to I got some momentum with the mapping for 2017.
Okay.
So I've really been pushing that as well.
Can you tell us a release date yet?
No, there isn't a release date. The release date isn't there, but we've changed the policy on information release.
What do you mean?
So, well, what happened was, now I can talk about it, is someone that was working on the team back sort of end of August, beginning of July, released... No, that's the other way around, isn't it? End of July, beginning of August.
Right.
Somehow, basically leaked some of the code out. It shouldn't have gone out. And then it turned up in a different mod that someone had sort of released. And it's all cleaned up now. It's all been sorted out. Everyone, I believe everyone pretty much cooperated. The guy was contacted who made this other mod. He took his content away and took it out and whatnot. So that's all kind of sorted out. But it sort of made us aware that if we're not talking about what we're doing, then if someone does steal an idea, or not steal, but if someone takes an idea or sort of, if it's leaked, or if someone comes up with it independently but after us, then they'll be like, oh, these are the first people that did that. We could have been planning it for months, but because we haven't told anyone about it, then it's not credited to to us. So it's we need to tell people more about what's happening with the game now. We need to start releasing more information, because then at least if someone does end up doing something the same way that we've done it, we can still point to it and say, no, we did it first, And so we're trying to take this more open approach now, because we've realised that you can keep things secret, but something's always going to come out.
I was listening to the Nerdist podcast with Simon Pegg, and one of the guys was saying that basically he and his mate were coming up with this comedy zombie film.
Yeah.
At the same time as Shaun of the Dead, but they didn't realise that the other team were doing it.
Yeah.
And then Shaun of the Dead came out, and they were just like, "Fuck."
Yeah, oh shit, we're fucked.
Yeah.
We can't. Yeah. Yeah, it's things like that. It's sort of, in one way, it's sort of like an insurance policy. You're putting it out there, and then of course people could copy. Unscrupulous people could copy it. Unscrupulous.
If they were,
they could copy the ideas, but it'd always be easy to track back and say, well, no, someone else came up with it first.
It wouldn't matter. If it was the likes of Simon Pegg or whoever, and they're more famous, they can turn around a film a lot quicker because.
Yeah, but I'm not suggesting Simon Pegg would copy us.
I'm suggesting that he would copy people.
Yeah,
if they had a good idea that he thought he could probably do better anyway.
So you're basically attacking Simon Pegg. Is that what you're doing right now?
I'd do it physically if he was here.
Yeah. Do you not like him?
No, I like him. He's good.
Good.
Do you think Simon Pegg is releasing an armour mod?
There may be rumours after this show that Simon Pegg might be releasing an Armour 3 mod that's very close to, if not the same as, the premise of the 2017 mod.
Imagine that.
Unconfirmed, but you heard it here first. Yeah, no, but that's what's happening, and so now I can talk a little more freely about what's happening with the map, and obviously the guys who are doing all the code and sort of making features, they can start speaking a bit more freely about what they're doing now. So it makes it easier for us all, really. Do you know what I mean? And it's good for me because I can kind of most of the payoff for working on the mod is that when someone plays it eventually. It is sort of you are looking for a bit of an ego stroke. You know what I mean? You want people to be like, oh, that's cool, this is cool. And if you can't show anyone anything, then it's sort of storing it all up. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I really want this to be out there for people.
Yeah.
To be looking at and kind of getting used to now, so you can kind of get that instant feedback. So it means that I can start doing that now. I can start maybe keeping a regular update. I can start updating the show a bit more regularly.
Yeah.
And I can really maybe keep my own blog and put pictures and stuff in there.
Yeah.
So it's sort of been a blessing in disguise, really.
So if anyone wants to see the updates that you're going to do, they'll need to go onto the pedestrians.net.
Well, they can go onto pedestrians.net for mine.
Yeah.
And then I'll also be linking to the 2017 mod website, which you can get to as well. And any dev blogs that are coming out from the team will be on there too.
Okay.
So people can but I think what I'll do is it's only fair that I keep my dev blogs that I do on the 2017 site, but I will then replicate, like, kind of, you know, bring them over onto the pedestrians.net and then link to anything else that's on there as well, any videos that are coming out and stuff like that, so people can keep up with it there. So I think what we'll do is actually we can do a 2017 page on the pedestrians, just for that. So that'll be quite cool as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's been my gaming experience. It's not gaming, but like doing map.
That's game related.
Yeah, but for the update, because I just realised I talked about updating, but I haven't actually made an update. I love how the music just kind of came in a little bit there as well.
Yeah, should we explain why there's music in the podcast?
Well, there's just a band outside.
What kind of band is it?
Foreign.
A foreign band?
It's a foreign band, yeah. In a foreign land.
Celebrating reunification.
No, they're always there.
Oh,
they're just always there, yeah. I recognise the tunes all the time.
Maybe Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Cinco de Quattro.
Yeah. So, what did I play?
I haven't finished yet. I'm still going.
What
No, I was talking about the mod.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is that I will put some pictures on the pedestrians. I'll put some pictures out there of what I've got so far. I'm working on a part of the map which is heavily based around an area in the north of Wales, where I used to holiday as a child, and so like right now, you know, there's lots of like dry stone walls and sort of like open areas, like kind of, you know, like lots of deposited rocks, that kind of really like rolling Welsh feel, you know. The editor seems to know I'm working in Wales, because like whilst I'm editing and laying all the stuff down, it's just like raining in the editor the whole time. It's just always rain, which is quite cool.
So you've got both the hills and the valleys in there?
Hills and valleys,
the hills and the valleys, right?
Yeah, but because it's a coastal area, so it's quite a flat area.
Yeah.
And then it sort of goes up into the hills beyond that, and that's where it sort of starts to transition into different types of landscape that I've put into the map as well. But at the moment, yeah, I'm working my way along the south coast and just putting all these little areas in, like kind of, you know, nice little farm housing, some sort of, you know, like those kind of walkways you get through the countryside.
Yeah.
Like nice little walkways that go through
Trails.
through farmers' fields. And they don't like it, but they couldn't make the council stop, so they had to just fucking deal with it.
Do you have those
Right
things?
to ramble.
Well, like a style.
Do you have those things that's like a bit of wood that you stand on and then you go over
It's
the
called a
fence?
style.
It's called a style?
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
Yeah, that field's got style.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, like
you should never steal one of those things though, because that's not your style.
Wow.
It's just
We seem
fucking...
to have a bad joke of the week.
Yeah, I
that
know.
just drops in. Last week it was the carry on joke for the phone.
It was, yeah. It was.
Must be a Birmingham thing.
But there aren't any styles in there. The map hasn't got any style right now.
No.
So I am thinking of modelling some styles. But I need to
release a style guide so that people know where all the styles are.
Yeah. But what I need to do is, if I put in styles in, then I'm going to need to speak to the devs, because we're probably going to need to put an animation in for the styles. So, you know what I mean? Is it worth worrying about that right now?
Do you do this animation on a computer, or do you use a pad and a stylus?
Yeah.
We leave the styles.
Are you going to feature Julia's styles in the game?
Yeah. Julia's Styles. It's going to be a shop that just sells styles. What I should have said was that when you said that, I should have said inner fashion. That would have been better. But yeah, so that's coming, and we've got, like, now I'm basically been joined by Nigel, who's the other map maker that's on the team now, and now he's taken a much more active role. So there's basically now two of us that are going to be full time working on the map, and I'm really rolling with momentum now. I've really picked up momentum with it, and like hopefully he'll sort of pick up a similar thing, you know. And it means that we can really start rolling through some of these areas and getting in all the items, all the basics, and then we can hand that over. The devs can start like dealing with, you know, like the coding around different buildings and like loot spawning and all this sort of business. They can get on with that, and then we can kind of go back to those areas afterwards, and then just add in all the nice little details and retexture things where it needs to be done and things like that. So I feel like we're really moving with it now, which is good. Everyone's happy about that.
So would you say first quarter next year release?
I love that you just keep doing that. It's already released. Yeah, we actually released it like a few years ago with the Candy Crush time machine.
Is that right?
Yeah, and we're just copying ourselves. So in a couple of months, we're basically gonna have a court case against our future selves, but like from the past.
This is getting quantum leap.
Yeah, it is.
Just
yeah.
watch out for Sergeant Candy.
Yeah, Sergeant Candy's getting involved. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but then, yeah, basically that. No release date ever.
I'm disappointed.
That's okay. We're not doing it for you.
Every week I'm getting messages to grill you on the release date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All one message that you left on your own fridge.
Just like I keep telling myself, grill Andy on the release date.
Yeah. So what have you been on? What have you been playing?
Still
Nice.
I just did that now. I just wanted to like do it in an isolated moment so that you could get rid of it.
Yeah, so we can just edit. I'm not going to edit it out though.
Are you regurgitating food for your unit?
Yeah.
I've been unwell. Yeah. I'm just recovering now.
Yeah. So I'm still like it was so frustrating because for months there was nothing on the PlayStation 4, and now everything's coming at the one time, and I'm having to play new games to review for the show, but I'm fighting against Destiny. Like I'm wanting to go back to Destiny all the time. I was thinking about it this morning. Destiny is just like it's like masturbating. Before it, you think, I feel like a wank.
Yeah.
You wank, you really enjoy it, but afterwards you're kind of like feel a bit pathetic, a bit dirty.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Maybe have a little cry.
Yeah. A cry wank.
Yeah, and then the next day you think, I could have a wank.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like you don't learn.
Yeah.
You're not really taking anything away from the experience.
So that's very Destiny's very much like masturbation.
Yeah. And now they've taken the loot cave away.
They have. I'm disappointed with that. I was enjoying the loot cave. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that they've even weaved a bit of lore into it as well to try and like kind of paper over the cracks.
Bungie's doing well. Every so often there's updates and stuff. So I think they're going to over the next. I'm looking forward to seeing Destiny's Child.
What was the reason behind getting rid of the loot cave?
Because it basically broke the system, broke the loot system.
Yeah.
People could do that. Yeah.
I see. It made the game too easy for a lot of people.
It was making people do that instead of playing the game.
Right. Yeah, what's happening is like there was a glitch where you could just like stand in front of this one cave, and just like shoot people coming out of it. Yeah. Like the bad guys would just spawn in there and come out and shoot them, and then
all the loot
would spawn there, and then you just keep doing that for ages and just run in and collect all the loot and come out again.
Oh, I thought it was actually there, and that's where they'd stash loads of stuff. And
it was just a glitch.
It was just this cave where 4 or 5 enemies spawned.
Yeah,
and you could shoot them as soon as even before they come out of the cave, and then it's just kept. Yeah,
did they just fix it by just randomising spawn points?
I don't know how they did it.
I think they would just have taken the spawns away.
You think?
They probably just, I mean, I don't know because I don't play it, but like I assume they would have either taken the spawns away or had like one spawn, and when they're killed, you have to like go like really far away or something before you can spawn again. Yeah.
I don't want to speak about Destiny again, but I'm still enjoying it. I'm interested to see what happens with the DLC in December. I think it'll be pretty good. One more thing before I got on from Destiny. I finally broke my virginity with the voice chatting.
Yeah, I saw you actually. You actually bought the voice chat thing.
No, it was in my box. It'd always been there.
So that makes it even worse that you weren't doing it.
So
it fucking winds me up, man. Like you're just so like he was all pleased with himself that he'd done online gaming, right? And then I was like, well, about voice chatting. He's like, oh no. And it's like, well, you tried the online gaming and you liked it. Like, why don't you just try voice chat as well? And he was all like pushing back. And then he called me a sanctimonious prick on Facebook
and Twitter.
Yeah. So
no, I used it and I enjoyed it. It was really cool. So maybe in the future.
Yeah. I'm still not over the sanctimonious prick thing. It's okay. I'm going to get my own back there. I'm going to come and shit in your slippers.
Isn't it better though if you're playing online not to know that you're playing against like a 12-year-old child or something?
Well, that's what I was saying. That's online gaming. Like getting owned by like 12-year-old kids is basically online gaming.
But if I wanted to be owned by a bunch of 12-year-old kids, I'd go back to.
You'd go and be a teacher. You'd go and be a teacher in primary school.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the thing though, man. Like, a lot of the time, like, I don't know. Like when I'm online gaming, like I was in like a little. It wasn't a clan. It was just a group of people that came together. And I found them in like the DayZ forums back in the mod days, and it was just a group of people that were saying like, you know, we're older gamers and we want to game with other older gamers, you know, and so I like kind of joined up with them. They're called the Fogies, you know, like Fogey Z, so like DayZ were like Fogies,
That means they're instantly cool.
Yeah, it was, yeah. But so I joined up with them, and we had some really good, some good fun, and we had like the servers that we would always go to, so we kind of get our thing, and there was always someone online because it was all around the world. And I got around it that way, where it's like I'm going to choose to play with these people, and then even if you are like up against, like younger people or people that aren't playing the way that you think they should be playing, do you know what I mean? Then like at least you're up against them with a team of people who are your kind of gamers. So that's like how I got around it, because I felt like then it was like not only were they like bastards who I didn't want to game against or people I didn't want to play with. It's like they're my enemy in this game, and like so it was more gratifying. It was like now I get to kill the people that are spoiling my gaming experience. Not really. We didn't like go to the houses.
No,
but like
you should have.
No, well, two or three.
You can consider that as another.
Yeah, we consider it. You threaten it quite often, like I'll kill your fucking family. You know what I mean? Shit like that usually comes out.
You only become a serial killer after 5, so you could have killed 4 of them. You'd have been okay.
You'd have been okay. Yeah. But yeah, man. But yeah, like if I'd have turned to serial killing. Then, like, when the police arrested me, they would have come to my house and found, like, Dexter and Sons of Anarchy and stuff on my hard drive and just made it look as though I was obsessed with them. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, of course they would.
And they'd be like, oh, he watched Sons of Anarchy and he had a beard and he's got something to do with bikes.
And Rob Harris has a beard and he's a paedophile.
Yeah, and they're like, so what, basically...
Why did you jump from serial killer to paedophile?
Oh, sorry.
It's just
I jumped from serial killer to paedophile on a daily basis.
But yeah, man, it would have just been a complete shit fuck.
Did you see that tweet that Donald Trump got? It was someone sent a message to Donald Trump saying about the.
Sorry, should he say Trump? It's got funny. Donald Trump.
You've been trumped.
Ivana Trump. It's just the best name.
She's an attractive woman as well.
Ivana Trump. Yeah, but what's your name?
Ivana Trump as well, but can we get on with the podcast?
Yeah.
I just had a great idea, right? You know how...
The puncast. like a puncast.
Well, you know how you've got legitimate celebrities that play online games, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So wouldn't it be possible to maybe work out what their gamer profiles are and just sort of monitor their games and stuff? And just see if they like throw like terrible language around or like abuse.
Are you talking about virtual paparazzi?
Like a sort of virtual paparazzi, yeah. You literally like.
So you not only have we got like shitbags in real life.
Yeah.
You're now proposing that we have shitbags that like just fucking troll celebrities in games as well.
But if they're like,
what would they have left?
Let's just say
Dreams.
You've got this really nice celebrity. Let's say you've got like Philip Schofield, right? But he's actually an avid gamer as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Is he?
And you follow him into the virtual world.
Hang on, is he really a gamer as well?
I'm just pulling it out.
Okay. Can you project towards the mic?
Let's say we're... sorry, this is my thinking corner. We're...
I told you we should not give him the swivel chair.
I know, yeah.
So let's... Right, so you can follow them into the virtual world, right? And just see, like, if in private they're as nice
or if
as they are in real
life. Yeah, but
life.
like, this is the thing, man. I was saying this to you yesterday. Like, when I'm playing... like DayZ, for instance.
Yeah.
Like, I'm basically playing as I'm unleashing a part of myself,
right,
which doesn't see the light of day.
So you need the anonymity.
Yeah, well, I don't need the anonymity so much as for me it's the release. I don't think that how people act in a computer game necessarily has any connection to how they are as a person. So, like, for me, did I talk about this already on the podcast?
About masking yourself and stuff?
No, just about like there was one time I was playing DayZ and I was like on my own. I was kind of lone wolfing it, and I met up with these two guys, and they were really nice, you know. And they fucking like I was getting chased by zombies and bleeding. They kind of shot them off, bandaged me up, and they like gave me a handgun, and they sort of showed me a level of trust. So I was inclined to be, you know, like, okay, this is cool. And we kind of, you know, I just basically rolled with it because I was like, cool, I can start gearing up with these guys. But the whole time, in the back of my mind, the thing that was happening is like, the longer I play with these guys, the more they're going to trust me. And all I have to do, essentially, is split them up. And then I can kill them both and have all of their gear.
Sure.
So that for like 2 hours, I'm playing with these guys. And I'm just like going along with them, yeah, man, yeah. And they were giving me advice, like... Because I was sort of playing as though I was like quite a new player. Yeah. And they were like, oh, we're going to go to the airfield. It's really dangerous there. Like, people get killed all the time. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, man. Well, it's lucky I'm with you guys. You know what I mean? And so we're like going through all the stuff, and
so are you voice chatting with these guys?
Yeah.
So you were basically being a dick to their faces.
Well, yeah, and I was just. But this is the thing, man. I was like, I knew that my end game was always these guys are going to die. I'm going to take their stuff. That's my end game. And then we go into a really big gunfight on the airfield with these other guys, and one of them got killed. And so the other dude that I'm with, he's like, "Oh, we got to pick up all of his stuff." And it's like, fucking brilliant, man. That's like half of my work's done. I don't even got to split him up anymore. All I got to do is kill this dude. Yeah. But also we're in a gunfight, so right now he's really useful to me because not only is he taking half of the shots, he's also shooting back, so it improves my chances. So I'm like, cool. So we collect all the stuff of this guy, we finish the firefight, and then I'm like, man, let's get out of here. So we found this like little secluded town that I know of. And I was thinking, I want to go somewhere where we can basically drop all of our shit, Because if you shoot someone in DayZ, and they're carrying stuff, then there's a danger that you can wreck the gear that they're carrying. So what I did was I took him to this place, and we went into a little cabin where I knew no one was going to be around. And I was like, what we should do is drop all of our gear on the floor, and then just sort it all out so we can split up all the ammo fairly. And it was like, yeah, it's a great idea. So we started doing it, man. And as soon as he got all the stuff down that was cool, I just fucking shot him in the head. And then I just cut contact with him. I just wouldn't talk back to him from that point.
So what was he saying down the microphone?
Well, because I killed him, and I just heard him. He was like, why you do that? You know what I mean?
He was more disappointed than angry.
Yeah, he was. He was gutted. He was really gutted, and that was part of why I couldn't speak to him because I felt like shame, but at the same time, my heart was beating out of my chest. And I got a bit of a fucking hard on. You know what I mean? I was just but it was such a fucking rush. I was like, fuck, man, I really did it. I really fucked him over. And I was getting all the stuff together, and I just cut because I couldn't say anything to him. Partly out of the mystery of just being this guy who's just completely fucked him, and also, I don't know, it just seemed like the right thing to do. Because if you start saying to someone, "Oh, I killed you because of this," it's not going to make him feel any better. So I was like, well, forget it. So I just did it. And then I just went off. And
you're a pure arsehole.
Yeah, but 2 hours I played with this guy and his friend. And it's but for me, I could have let's say I was geared up and I met him straight away and just shot him. Where's the fun in that? There's no fun. They would have just died. They would have had no anecdote, no story, no gameplay. But we had 2 hours of gameplay.
So you've given them a story?
Yeah, that was interesting. And I've got a story and he's got a story, and they've both got punchlines, but they're different. Do you know what I mean? My punchline is I was the jerk.
Yeah.
And his punchline is I spent 2 hours with this guy.
You weren't playing the game.
Yeah, exactly. I'm playing the game within the bounds of the game.
The game can go.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's like saying you should be a lone wolf in the world because
but that's exactly what I'm saying.
It gives you the chance to be somebody else.
Yeah, it's definitely not that, because in real life that's not who I am. And in the game it gives me a chance to kind of play out those fantasies, and sort of. But also, there is a reality that I did feel bad inside for killing him. I did feel remorse, and I was like, fuck. But it was part of the excitement of the moment.
Yeah, adrenaline.
It was part of the thing. It was like, fuck, this is fucking amazing.
How do you think you would act in a Walking Dead situation? Would you be like that, or would you?
I've got no idea. I wouldn't be able to say. I'd like to think I'd keep my morals. I wouldn't want to divorce myself completely from my morals. But at the same time, there's that part of me that knows if it was kill or be killed, or you're in a situation where someone was slowing you down, then you'd have to consider your options. You would be would you be
shoot him in the knees?
Yeah. Well, that thing of in a zombie apocalypse, you haven't got to be the fastest runner.
You just got to be faster than all your friends.
Yeah, you just got to be faster than one person.
The second fastest.
And if you're not, and if you're the second fastest, then you've got to be prepared to shoot the first fastest. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But would you be like that in a real apocalypse? I've got no idea, man. I hope I wouldn't be, but at the same time,
if a zombie apocalypse happens, I'm getting the fuck away from you anyway.
Well, I like to think though that you wouldn't divorce yourself from all these ideas of how you think about the world. But at the same time, I hope that I'm not naive enough to let someone else fuck me over. So yeah. I'd be smart enough to be
you'd be like Rick Grimes.
Yeah, exactly. It's I would consider killing someone to get away from zombies or whatever. But it's understanding that they probably have that consideration as well. And it's understanding where the line in the sand is, where you either ignore that possibility and accept that you might be killed, or just say, well, I'm going to have to fucking kill this guy.
But is it not better to be is it not better to be the one that gets fucked over than to lower yourself to be the one that fucks people over?
Not if you die. Because if you're dead, then it doesn't matter anymore.
Some things are worse than death.
Yeah, some things are, but like if I killed someone to get away, and then found out that it was like the wrong thing to do, I'm sure that I would make some kind of excuse in my head. Sure, cognitive dissonance would kick in, and I'd just be okay. So I wouldn't worry about it.
You're acting like an ape, a wild ape.
Yeah.
There's another element to voice chat though that is really what I was getting at, which was the idea of like people using it like to just like throw racialist attacks at people, or like to throw like rape threats at like female players and stuff.
Yeah,
and like those kind of elements like would be cool to like expose if they were being like.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like so they would become like the like if Mel Gibson was playing to be like.
Yeah, and it's like you kind of want to expose his lewd language and behaviour.
But I think that's something that's
and
like
bullying tactics.
Yeah, like if people are doing that, then like it doesn't matter who they are, they should be.
Because if you were bullying a character in the game, it'd be all quite funny.
Yeah.
But if you were literally bullying like who you thought the person was at the other end,
yeah, then it's not cool. Like if you're role playing,
yeah,
then it's a different thing to like actually. But what if you were role playing, like an anti-Semite, for instance?
Yeah.
Like, is that okay? I don't know.
It's okay if the guy that you're abusing, who's playing a Jew, isn't Jewish.
And you're like, it's all so confusing though, isn't it?
We're heading towards a rabbit hole, and
yeah, we're heading towards. We're in the entrance hall of the racist rabbit hole again.
Yeah,
we'll like keep finding us,
and it's dimly lit. And
I think we've spoken about racism and female rape in all 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
rape threats
comes
and
up in
racism.
gaming though.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like the gaming community is fucking rife with that kind of thing, and I think like what pisses me off is like people talk about it, but like no, like I feel like someone needs to just make their position clear and say, well, we're against that, and I think that's what I want. Like that's where I want us to be. I want us to be people that say, like, we don't really care what you think. Like, we think that like that what people talk about as casual sexism, casual racism in games, we think it is an issue that is bigger. That it's not casual. It's never casual, and it's good to say like, well, that's our stance on it, and we're going to keep that stance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it isn't cool. It isn't cool if someone's just like making like casual remarks. Like irony is very different, man. There's a lot of like people are constantly like ironically sexist or racist or whatever. There's a big difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
the key point being that they don't really mean it.
Yeah, but well, the thing is though, some people will throw a racial slur at someone and they don't mean it, they don't believe it, but they're trying to hurt the person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's the malice behind it.
Yeah.
And like I think a lot of the time, some like ironic sexism or racism or some kind of ironicisms, like they get thrown around in circles where not everybody gets it, and I don't think that's cool either. Because like if you're going to be the person that's being ironically racist or whatever, then you need to know that the people that are subject to your ironic racism get that, and they understand that you're being ironic. That's different, you know.
Yeah. Like
you need to understand that, and if you're not making sure that you're in the right group of people to understand your irony, then you're an idiot for fucking. Do you know what I mean?
Because all you're doing is qualifying them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, so if there's someone who's racist and they're too dumb to understand irony, and you're like, oh yeah, you know, like women make the sandwiches, right? And they're like, yeah, man, and you're like, oh no. You know what I mean?
I like how you did an American accent there. What are you trying to suggest?
The Americans are sexist or racist. I don't know. And that's just me being culturist. But like, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
But I like to take the stance that I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's cool to joke about fucking, you know, like any of that stuff. It's like just fucking let's just forget it and move past it instead of trying to get cheap laughs.
So Tom, are you implying that Philip Schofield would be some kind of terror online?
Are you implying that Philip Schofield
I think that
is racist?
Like, he would consider, because people do use the anonymity of the internet to get away with a lot of stuff that they wouldn't do face to face.
Yeah.
And you know, you hear a lot of like swearing and abuse, you know, in those like I don't do much online gaming, you know, but you hear it, you know. So it'd be interesting to follow, you know, a few celebrities into their gaming worlds just to see what they get up to. Not like in the game.
What do you reckon it'd be like?
But like
you'd have to do it. You'd have to do it without them knowing as well, because if they knew it, it'd kill the whole idea.
Well, I guess they'd have gaming like let's say Dara O'Brien, who's an avid gamer, right?
Yeah.
Famous Irish comedian man. Right, comedy man. like, so let's say he was actually, which he probably isn't, but let's say he's really mean online and really racist and stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to like get his gamer profile and just like sort of follow him around.
Yeah,
and just see what he does, and then just like tell the press or something. But the Sun,
ruin his life.
Like newspapers would never run that story because they'd have to try and sell that story to. They'd have to try and explain how online gaming works to the kind of person that would read a tabloid.
Yeah,
and it would be too much work, so they just wouldn't bother.
I reckon Philip Schofield uses Gordon the Gopher as an online persona.
Yeah.
And as a sex toy.
We can't say this sort of stuff, man. Like, we're going to get in trouble. Philip's going to come for us, man.
Most people used socks back in the day. He used Gordon the Gopher.
Gordon the Gopher. But the thing is, most of my childhood heroes turned out to be paedophiles. Do you know what I mean?
Where does that leave us?
I know, but then it's like, who have I got left to cling to now? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
I know,
and if it turned out that Philip Schofield was... Like, I don't know why we picked on Philip, but like, if he did turn out to be some kind of fiend online, I don't know what I'd do, man. What's next? Fucking Andy Peters, Andy Crane,
Toby Anstis. I mean,
yeah, like it's just like I can't. I know he was after my time.
Pat Sharp,
yeah, with that haircut.
I met Pat Sharp in Ibiza once.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
Did he still have the same?
The mullet? No, he's shortened it, but I think he's married to one of the twins.
Ah, really?
Which one? I always liked the yellow one better, but I don't know.
Do you reckon they've got a whole fun house kind of in the
Wait,
garage?
what twins are we talking about?
From Funhouse?
I never watched it.
I
never watched Funhouse?
No.
It's the.
I just did that thing I was talking about earlier.
How did the theme tune go again? It's like Funhouse.
A whole lot of fun, prizes to be won.
Yeah.
It's a real wacky show where everything goes or something like that.
Yeah. It was a great show. Pat Sharp had really big hair.
I remember Pat Sharp, I just don't think I ever watched that Funhouse.
I think he DJs now. I think he's on BBC Radio 5 Live.
Yeah, I think that's probably why he was in Ibiza.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
what was it? That was a massive tangent.
That was, yeah, but it was a good tangent that was worth covering, I think.
You think?
Yeah,
okay.
It's interesting.
Well, my voice chatting was just with people I knew, so there wasn't any abuse.
Yeah.
Yet.
I want to follow these people.
Maybe it's something we could look at. Maybe because joking apart, man, it might be quite a good like side hobby.
Yeah.
To sort of track down people. They don't even need to be like proper celebrities, but like like sort of minor or people who are celebrities because they like maybe they stream or something.
Right.
And like sometimes they're going to play when they're not streaming.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's the dark side of their online persona comes out. And they're just terrible people. Might be worth like trying to figure that out.
Let's say on a game like DayZ, right?
Yeah.
You know the gamer profiles of the people that you can see.
Yeah.
Like, you know who they are and stuff.
Okay, well it works like this, man. On Steam, like my name in DayZ isn't the name that I use as my Steam profile. But what happens is by process of elimination, I don't mean taking a shit.
Right.
I mean like by eliminating players. Like if you're on quite a full server and someone's menaced you, right? If they were speaking to you and you could sort of pin down maybe they were British or whatever, you can then go into your Steam thing and you can see who you've played with in like the last hour or minutes or whatever. So like if you went onto a server for like 5 minutes and there were 3 people on there, one of them was you.
Yeah.
And then you can sort of narrow it down and go, this guy, I think this is the guy, and you can kind of find him on Steam. Sometimes they do have the same name. There's ways of figuring it out who someone might have been.
And in DayZ you could physically stalk people and just listen to what they're saying.
Yeah, you can troll people. Yeah, and you can like if you're quiet enough and good enough, you could stay out of their vision.
You go prone.
Yeah, and you could just kind of creep up and you could listen to what people are saying, but sort of always stay out of their vision. Yeah. So you could basically stalk people that way.
I think that's what I like. If I played that game, that's probably what I do all the time.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. Like you get to like fulfill a part of something that you don't normally get to do, or you wouldn't
following
do.
People around.
Just like deep down, you just want to stalk people. Deep down, I just want to fuck people over.
I can't see Philip Schofield being a DayZ player though. I think he's more of a Nintendogs.
You reckon?
Yeah, I can't see him.
I think you're pigeonholing him, to be honest.
You think?
Yeah, and that's not a euphemism.
But one of a fantastic trolling event happened, with the Look Cave we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Some guys were going into it and calling it the Disco Cave. And I told you can dance.
Dancing, yeah.
He was dancing in the cave so the enemies wouldn't respawn. So all the guys are waiting with the guns and this guy's just dancing in the cave and nothing's happening. It was great.
Yeah, so he's just spoiled it for everyone.
Yeah.
What a jerk. What a complete
He was stopping people from spawning there by being there.
Yeah.
That's an idiotic move.
Yeah, that's like... You can't dance in someone's spawn hole.
That should be in the Bible.
You're dancing in my spawn hole, boy.
There was a lot of dancing in spawn holes.
Yeah, the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not dance in another spawn hole.
Just read the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. There's some dancing in a spawn hole.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, what I've actually been playing quite a lot of last week is Infamous Second Son.
Yeah.
Have you ever played any Infamous?
I haven't
games?
at all. No. I know very little about the game as well. So,
well, it's third person. It's set in Seattle. Seattle looks amazing. Like, this is graphically the best video game I've ever seen.
Okay.
See, when you're walking through puddles and stuff, you can see the rain hitting the puddles and then the ripples and your effect on it as well. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
I won't go into Infamous 1 and 2. It's about basically mutants, people that have got powers. It's very X-Men in the story. This guy, there's a prison bus crashes. This guy Delson, who's voiced by Troy Baker, you know, Booker DeWitt from
Yeah.
He touches one of the prisoners and gets the powers from him.
Okay.
So he's originally got these smoke powers where he can go up like chimneys and stuff like that, and he can fire fire at people. It's called the DUP, which is like this kind of police that come to get the mutants.
Yeah.
Trying to get the escaped prisoners back, and the woman encases parts of his family in stone, and he realises that he can get powers, so he thinks he can get her power to get these people out of the stone.
Okay.
So he goes to Seattle to try and get to the head of this DUP. That's basically the start of the story.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got really interesting characters. They've got a girl in it, Fetch, who's got neon powers.
Yeah.
So when you're Delson, you can drain from smoke, and then you've got smoke power. So you go up to chimney, you can drain the power from that. When you get the Fetch powers, you drain from neon signs.
Okay, so you power up from these different areas. Okay, so it's like you're like replenish your powers.
Yeah. So, and Fetch power, you've got like Flash, you know, the comic book Flash. Yeah. You can run like Flash throughout the city.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a purple blur as you run forward. It's really, really cool.
How does that mechanic work though? Are you really moving like really fast, or is everything kind of in slow motion?
No, you're really moving fast.
Okay.
And you can run up buildings and stuff.
Okay, cool.
It's really fun to play. So what they do is, you know, in most video games they have this really gamey things where this massive monster comes from nowhere. You have to have the boss fight.
Yeah.
What they do in this is you find Fetch, but she doesn't know that you want to help her, so you have to fight her.
Okay.
So she's running like fucking mental, like Flash. You're trying to catch her. Eventually, you get her power down, and then you can, then you become her friend. Like that, you.
Okay. Yeah.
Get to a stage where she's an ally, and that happens 2 or 3 times. You get another ally. This guy he's a video gamer. He has digital materialization, which means he can like get dragons and stuff to come. They're not real, but they look real.
Okay.
So you get that power by defeating him. So that's a really kind of cool way to do it, of getting progressing without having the gamey effects of bosses, of having a boss.
Yeah.
I really think that's cool. One of the main things about Infamous is you either choose to be a good guy or a bad guy.
Yeah.
So when you're walking the streets, you can start shooting people in the head, and you automatically go into the bad.
Yeah.
You're making bad decisions.
Well, that's sort of like the honor system in like Red Dead Redemption as well.
Yeah.
You're not specifically picking one or the other, but your actions in the game make you fall to one side or the other.
So when you've defeated Fetch, it'll come up like, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? Basically, do you want to fuck her over or do you want to invite her into your?
Yeah, you could. Yeah. So it's the same sort of thing with BioShock as well, where you can like harvest the little what are they called? The little sisters.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You can harvest them, or I always think I'm getting that mixed up with a book that I read once.
No, it's a little sisters.
Yeah. I just wanted to check, like Stephen King while I was in there. He did like a little story called Little Sisters of Eloria, and I always get it mixed up. But yeah, like, and then also in the Fallout series, they've got the karma system as well. Yeah. Which kind of works that way. But does it affect how people perceive you as well?
Actually, walking about, the people usually run from you because you're firing things at enemies.
You're like shooting shit.
I mean, if the police started firing in the road, you wouldn't be standing going, there's the police, you'd be running for cover. So I guess that kind of figures. But the endings, I won't talk about the endings, but the endings are massively different.
Okay.
If you go red or blue. I've not done the red. I'm not like you. I can never be a bad guy.
No, but the thing is, when I play Fallout or like Red Dead Redemption, I find myself like doing the right thing. It's only when I'm playing against other real people that I can really fulfill the dark side of my fucking personality, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, in a computer game, I'm not really affecting anybody else. It's not real, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, and I kind of want to be the nice guy in them situations. But when it's really, when I know I can spoil someone else's day, you know what I mean? But I don't think I do spoil people. I think I'm enriching it. Because, like I said, man, I could have killed someone straight away, and they've got nothing to talk about. The game's spoiled.
Yeah.
But if you fuck with them, or like if you troll someone in a clever way, or then, you know what I mean? Like, it's an enriched playing experience because someone's really fucking with you, and like that's really happening. It's taking 3 or 4 hours, and eventually, like, it comes to a head, and you kill them or they kill you. You've got a story either way, man. It's really so. Like, I'm just saying. Like, I don't think
you think it's a different kind of.
Yeah, it's a different. There's a different dynamic there, man. Like, and I feel like that's a good thing. I'd enjoy it if people did it to me as well.
Yeah.
So,
the one thing I would criticise about this is it lacks nuance. It's, you know, the most interesting characters. I really don't like Superman. I don't like Superman because he's too good for me.
Same as Batman as well.
But see, Batman's slightly different because, you know, like in Batman, the first of the Christopher Nolan films, Liam Neeson says to him, "You won't kill me" or something like that, and he says that I don't need to kill you, I can just not save you, and he lets him go.
Yeah.
Superman would never do that.
Yeah.
And like, for me, you need to have this kind of grey area where you don't need to be a full bastard and you don't need to be a full good guy. The most interesting people are in the middle, where they'll do something good, but maybe they'll take some of the drugs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They bust up the drug deal, but maybe they'll grab some for themselves.
In The Dark Knight, for instance, it's like, well, I can't really go around killing people. But then you've got the Joker, who was like really bad. Loads of people are dying. So, you know, as Batman, you'd probably say, okay, I'm going to kill this one guy, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And then most people I won't kill. Because most of the time, he's just beating up like random crooks on the street.
Just like henchmen.
And general henchmen. And yeah, he shouldn't kill them because they've got an opportunity to live a better life. But the Joker's not going to turn into like a better man. He should just end him.
There's that bit though where he's got what's his name? Fucking, he was in like The Best of the Best. The one like criminal, Robert. Is it Robert something? He's like holding him over the balcony.
Yeah.
And he's like, just like, you won't drop me. And he's like, yeah, because you're like, you won't die. Just like breaks his legs. And
that's
just,
Eric Roberts.
Eric Roberts, that's it. There's Robert in there. Yeah. He like just drops him. Like, stuff like that
he could still have been killed.
Yeah, but it makes the Batman character more interesting for me.
Yeah.
When he's like, he's got his rules and his code, he won't kill someone, but he's like, I'll fucking cripple you. You know what I mean? It's like brilliant, man. I love this.
Speaking of the henchman, there, the scene in Austin Powers where the henchman dies and it's a phone call to the family.
I love that. Yeah,
it's Rob Lowe, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're like, Smealy's dead. They're like all waiting for him to turn up.
Yeah. So for me, even like Han Solo, like, he was always in that kind of area between good guy and bad guy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And these people, as I said, are just much more interesting characters. With this game, you can do certain bad things. It will take down your karma.
Yeah.
But you can't aim for this middle part.
Yeah, you really are one or the other.
Yeah,
that is a bit of a bummer actually, because you want to be like the dark character or whatever.
Should be able to do both. Like Mal from Firefly will just shoot a guy in the face if he feels like it's necessary.
Yeah,
you know, but he's still like the hero.
Yeah, like that's a good.
It's a complicated man.
It's the idea of having an anti-hero. I mean, anyone who's watched The Sopranos will say that Tony Soprano is a hero of The Sopranos, but he's an utter bastard. I mean, there's nothing good about his character whatsoever.
Yeah, most good drama now. You've got no real. I mean, Game of Thrones might be a bad example because you got the Starks who are pretty good, but then you see like Ned Stark like execute someone, you know, in the first episode.
Yeah, for something that wasn't really that bad.
Yeah,
he ran away because of the Nightwalk. Is it Nightwalkers?
Yeah. He was scared.
He deserted,
and you're like, fuck, man, that's a bit strong.
Yeah.
But Ned Stark wasn't really that kind of. It wasn't really the same. It wasn't really the same level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like he's just upholding the laws.
He didn't want to do it, but he did it. But that was the kind of message. It's like these are kind of the heroes, but the morality of this world is different. So you're gonna just have to get used to that.
Yeah.
And there will be like a lot of boobs as well.
Yeah,
but like they pretty much establish early on.
Well, that's what they. Yeah, but that, like, I don't know, man.
So in Infamous, you can have either the blue or the red decision, and you could do blue decision, red decision, blue decision. Right. But you're never getting the benefits. If you do blue constantly, you fill up this meter and then you get this like bomb explosion move that you can do. So if you were going blue red, you would never get either one.
Yeah.
So for me,
you kind of want the middle ground. You want to be able to have a middle ground.
There should be like a green option, which is like you're the anti-hero. You do this. You follow this path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's always I don't like the fucking black and white.
Yeah.
Sometimes of games where like Fallout doesn't really cover that either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or I don't.
It must
like
be a really hard thing for the gamers, the makers, to do, though.
No, I disagree. I think it's a really easy thing to do.
You think?
I think you break down the benefits of instead of having this one big thing, which is so gamey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're the good guy, then you have this power. If you're the bad guy, you have this power. It's like, well, it's 2014, and we're still doing that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, can't we just have a system where the benefits for each thing are much smaller, and so you can mix and match them, like with Skyrim. In Skyrim, like, you can choose your kind of powers as you go through.
Yeah.
And it's not falling into, like, the dark side or, you know what I mean? Or the other side, because there isn't a light side. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like bad or good. It's just like, these are the powers available to you. You've only got so much, like, skill points to spend. Like, and you can kind of create your character from all these bits. And you could apply that same system to, like, the good, bad spectrum. Like, you know, here's really bad, here's really good. You can invest everything in each one, or you can go down any nuance of that. So, like, you just break down the benefits, and then you can tile those smaller benefits together.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it makes it more complicated, and it makes the characters, like, more unique as well. Because, like, your character's probably not going to... Like, in that game, you're either this one or that one. But if you've got multiplayer games as well, then, like, you want to come up against someone else, their powers probably aren't going to be the same as yours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to be very mixed.
You're going to get a much different experience.
And I don't think that's... I don't think it's too much to expect from a game studio that they invest time in figuring out that system.
I imagine that they have the black and white so that you play the game twice. I imagine that's why they're doing it.
I would imagine so, but I think, like, when you start making capitalist decisions in the story about the storyline of a game, then you've already lost the fucking art of making a game.
Yeah.
You know, like I bang on about Rockstar, man, but like with GTA 4, I'm sure that there were decisions they made in gameplay that have got a very capitalist, you know, influence. But like they don't let it spoil the story. They don't let it like fuck with the function, like the mechanics of the game. Yeah. And it's like they've made a game that works.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and it's like they've done everything they needed to do. They've done their job. And then you get other games where it's like they're like, oh, if we have a good and a bad side, they're going to play it twice. And it's like, well, then hide it better.
Yeah.
Like, hide that mechanic better. Don't be so fucking stupid that people... Because you see straight through it.
Yeah.
And I think, like with Far Cry 3 as well, at the end, you can either choose to kill all your friends, or you can choose to, like, save them all.
That was a spoiler there, by the way.
Ah, bollocks. But you know what I mean? But, well, everyone knows that now. It's an old game. 4's about to come out. Get with the fucking program. Do you know what I mean? I've got no sympathy for you people that aren't playing Far Cry 3. But yeah, like...
Could you get it on a Mac?
Nah. I don't know, actually. I say no, I don't know. I assume not. But this is the thing. Like, they're just not doing a good enough job. And I think, like, now there's so much money going into games. And it's, you know, it's getting, like, film. I sort of think, just do a better job. There isn't an excuse for this anymore. I'm not going to forgive people for making... for not hiding like mechanics properly. And
well,
things
back in
that.
like Red Alert days, for instance, you'd have a completely different story. You know, if you're playing like the Russians, you know, or if you're playing the good guys.
But there was limitations then, like the Red Alert games. There weren't like big budget games.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
To be fair, like Infamous was made by Sucker Punch. They're not going to have the budget that Rockstar have.
Yeah, but it's not about budget, man. It's just about telling a story and like. Designing a mechanic like that isn't a hard thing to do. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
They would have to write three branches, you know. Like,
no, that they don't, because if it's dynamic, then you don't have to write every eventuality. Mm. You can just allow the game to take on the thing that it does. And if, for instance, you have a roundup at the end, then like you have maybe a few different endings for different main characters, and you can just kind of cover them and how it ended or whatever. But the outcome can be the scripted piece, but it just doesn't. You just avoid any references to their kind of alignment. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There's always a way around it.
And Infamous, the endings are cutscenes anyway. So I mean, all they had to do was make another cutscene.
Yeah, and it's like, is it really like to make one cutscene? You just keep the actors in for a bit longer in mocap and do a bit of this and then record some. It's like a day, 2 days extra.
Imagine Troy Baker's quite expensive though. So,
I don't know, man, but I still don't think he's. I just don't think he's on the scale of like actually affecting how they write the story.
No, I can't.
And if you take him on with this in. You already know you've got these scenes to do. I'm sure that he doesn't sit down with them and go, so how many scenes have we got? It's this many. It's going to cost this much. Yeah. Let's go, do you want to do this? This is the script. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then he goes yes or no.
It'll be on like a day basis.
Yeah, it's not going to cost that much more. And no one can... I know that the film industry's fucked. And if you want to get if your character's in some dirty jeans, then they've got 20 pairs of dirty jeans that some fucking company's made, and they probably spent $500 on each pair. And you're like... They're dirty jeans. There's nothing special about these jeans. So you've basically spent 20 times 500, $4,000 on jeans. And it's I could make your jeans dirty the same way 20 times over. And it wouldn't cost that much money, but people charge that much money because they know there's big money in film. So it's not worth that. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
That's why those movies cost so many millions.
Yeah, it's because people further down the chain are just they're just sucking in all the bucks, man.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Just squeezing those teats.
Yeah, it's it's Hollywood, so we can double our price.
Yeah.
And I think that's disgusting.
I've read a really good book recently, Hollywood by Charles Bukowski. It's talking about trying to get this film made, and it's complete the things that people have to do to get film made.
Right.
This guy was he went into a producer basically saying he was going to cut off his fingers one by one until they agreed to make the film.
Yeah.
And he had a chainsaw or something and he was holding his hand like this.
Well, I basically would have been on the phone to a documentary maker and been like, get over here, this is gold.
Yeah.
and then filming that could have funded the film that he wanted to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been it. That would have been how I got around that. I'd have been hold that for 1 hour, go and have a pub lunch for an hour, and then come back with the chainsaw again.
The film get made, it was Barfly with, what's the guy's name that was in The Wrestler?
Oh, Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke. Yeah. Barfly with Mickey Rourke. That was the film that we're trying to make. So.
But these are sort of film problems, and I think games going to go the same way.
Yeah.
Where suddenly people realise, fucking Bungie are making this new game, and
Destiny's Child.
Yeah, they're making the sequel. It's called Destiny's Child, but Bungie are making this new game, and they've got this huge budget. So when we give our mocap services to them, we'll just bump up the price a little bit, and they're just going to pay it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm scared that that's okay. Well, I'm sure it's already going that way.
Yeah.
Where for me, when you say mocap's really expensive, and I think what's expensive about it? If I wanted to, I could paint my fucking house green, and tie ping pong ball to someone, film it from a few angles, spend a bit longer doing it, but I could do mocap.
Yeah.
But I'm not. But why would I charge fucking thousands and thousands for something that's essentially... There's not that much skill involved in doing it. It's not something that's beyond anyone. Yeah. Everyone can do that. And it annoys me that people are out there fucking just raking it in, going, oh yeah, with this really good mocap studio. And it's like, oh yeah, what do you do that's better than anyone else? Why is your service so expensive?
You might have really good actors that can embody race from another universe, and ordinary henchmen. And all sorts of different characters, monkeys. I was
going to say, basically, you just have Andy Serkis in the corner, and he just paid loads of money. I love how that's happened, but Andy Serkis is the only guy who could ever play a monkey in a film or an ape.
You cannot have an ape that isn't played by Andy Serkis.
Yeah, but away from that, though, that's what I'm essentially getting at. Is that I think I get annoyed that people talk about budgets of games, and they're talking on another level completely. That's beyond the average gamer, where it's it's only costing so much money because these people demand that money. And if the gaming studios went, we're not paying that, then normal companies who basically charge what it's really worth would suddenly start getting all this work in, and gaming would be cheaper to make, and you'd be able to get better. Basically, the consumer would get more for their money if there weren't these bastards out there charging fuckloads of money for a service that really isn't worth that much money.
Well, maybe you could set up a more low rent sort of mocap studio, that's more for games in a sort of mid range.
Maybe that's what it takes, man. Maybe that's what should happen. Maybe we should say, well, let's do that. Let's set up that studio that does mocap for less.
And then the big players will go there too, because they'll be like, well, we can save money here and put it into this.
Yeah, but this is the thing,
pay Tom Cruise more money.
But
do you do that?
You're taking on the human condition here. The human condition is to get ahead, and this is the reason why communism wouldn't work, because you need to involve humans.
But that's the point, though, man. What I'm trying to say is, would I be doing that to make money? Or would I be doing it out of because I think I don't want to be super rich for the purpose of being super rich. Like, if I want a lot of money, if I want to be rich, it's because, like, I want to fucking spend the time I've got to do what I want to do, and not for the sake of having all that money. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, I sort of think, if I was going to say, right, I'm going to start that studio that does mocap for less, I'm going to keep pushing that trademark, Podestrians.
Mocap for less.
Yeah. Then, like, it wouldn't be because I'm like, oh, there's a hole in the market and I can make loads of money. It would be like, you know, like, I'd like to be the person that made that step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's sort of like a personal...
Delivered the service.
Yeah, it's like, I'd like to be the person that did this. And then, like, from that, you can move your way into a separate thing, or, like, position yourself where you want to be in the industry. But, again, it's not for the purpose of being rich. Like, I want to be just doing the thing that I want to do. You know what I mean? I want to be making computer games. I want to be working in story and game mechanics. I want to be developing that. You know what I mean? In a conceptual way. That's what I want to do. And it's like, any way that I could get to that point is good, you know? And like,
I think you're in the minority, man.
Yeah, maybe I am. But I don't think that's a problem. I don't think it's really a problem. Because as soon as a few people come out of the woodwork like that and say, we want to do this for this, you know, then it kind of catches on, you know. You've got there's that new social network which I've subscribed to, LO.
Oh yeah.
And it's like that, you know, like they're doing something not for the money. It's like, we're just doing this because we're fed up of this.
Yeah.
But these things always happen. Twitch came out for gamers, not for the money, and then they sell the company for $2 billion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It could happen a lot because the more people that join as well, you need like a much bigger team to operate it.
But the thing is, right?
And then if it goes public, shareholders and stuff.
And Elo, no matter what it's got at the moment, a couple of years down the line, if that's successful and someone comes along and says, can I buy this for $1 billion, they're going to say yes.
They're going to say yes.
Yeah.
But then after the sale, everyone will just leave and go back to Facebook.
But the thing is, right, what you got to remember is, if you change something enough, if you revolutionise an industry with your way of doing something, and then you sell that for billions, it doesn't matter, because the industry is now standard on that.
Right.
So the industry standard for mocap, I don't know why you've gone with mocap here. I was going to say that. It's because I like the word mocap. But like, if mocap is suddenly really cheap, and the industry's got used to that, then it's going to stay that way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
A bit like in the way that computer special effects, like, never kind of commands the money that it deserves.
Yeah, it doesn't. But that's a fuck up, man.
Yeah,
and that's like
a mistake.
That's a mistake. And it's like, because like there is a lot of work that goes into it, and they don't get enough. They don't get as many props as they should. But it's like, if it's overinflated, then like
you can't make those films at all.
But then the thing is, though, it's not even that. It's like the people running the companies that are taking out all the big money.
Yeah.
People doing the work aren't getting the money.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking. It's like,
but you do have whole special effects companies that go under at the end of a film because they never get the money they're promised.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they have to. Their outgoings are you know.
That's kind of the same with game developers. Higher. I mean, Sucker Punch after Infamous came out.
Well, look at the guys who made L.A. Noire.
Yeah.
Rockstar?
No, they published.
Oh, published.
It was Bondi, was it? Or I forgot what they're fucking called now. I feel awful. But like, they made that and then they just went under.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like
the thing team. What's Ken Levine's team as well? They made the Bioshock. They'll let a lot of people go. Infinite? No, it's not. B2. We should know things like this.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's that thing where it's like a brain farted.
Yeah.
So after all said and done, no one really made any money.
Well, no, the publisher made money.
Yeah.
Ken Levine's like transcending everything right now because he's like going to make Logan's Run.
Yeah, he's right.
Do you know what I mean? So he's like, so he's like really transcending games, and he's like going on this whole new thing. So like,
he's making an indie studio as well, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I don't know enough about it because like there was a point where I would literally like almost every second day I would be looking for Ken Levine news just to see what he was doing because I like kind of idolise him in a really unhealthy way.
You were following him on DayZ, listening to some
just listening to him like,
It's going to be that thing, you know, when you listen to a podcast and when they can't remember something, you're screaming down the podcast. People are going to be listening to this.
Yeah, it's like
screaming the name of Ken Levine's company.
Yeah, they are like, you're an idiot. It's this. But
what I wanted to talk about in Infamous was not actually
irrational games.
Fucking
hell, it would come to me. Yeah,
it's all tangents.
It's a DLC, and that's what I've been playing this week. I downloaded the DLC. It's a standalone expansion, so you can buy it in the shops. It's £11.99 in Scottish pounds.
Yeah.
So basically, it's prequel to the game, 2 years beforehand, and you play as Fetch, the girl with the flash powers I was talking about.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, as we were talking about the last couple of weeks, having a female lead in the game.
Yeah.
Even if it is only DLC. She's one of the most interesting characters. She was a former junkie. Her brother's died, so there's quite a lot of kind of good story behind that.
So like an emotional...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the game plays out, she's been captured by this kind of fascist DUP woman who turns people into stone, and she's like handcuffed, and she's telling the story. So what you're playing is a story.
How did she get out of this situation?
She escapes 2 years later.
She escapes under her own steam.
I think it's under her own steam, yeah.
So there's not that fucking like rescue trope involved.
No,
it's like she actually like was like, oh, I'm going to escape myself.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not just going to wait for some dude character to come and get me out.
It's been a few months since I played the original Infamous game, but I think that's what it was. So yeah, that's really cool. Problems I have with it: she's got this friend who's a friend of the brother called Shane, and he's from Texas. He's speaking this Texas accent, and he's constantly coming on to her. So they've got this female lead in the game, but he's constantly saying about riding her. It actually says at one point about riding her like a bull or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so finally they get this female lead, but it's instantly sexualise her.
Yeah.
Instantly.
But, or do you think though that character might be like a metaphor for
the video game audience?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, could be like it could be clever in that way. Where like what's his? Do you look at him as a bit of an asshole?
We look at, well, I mean, I do, but I imagine there'll be some people playing the game going like, yeah, I'd like to ride her like a fucking bull as well.
Yeah, but like maybe that's the whole point though. Maybe that's the point of that. Maybe that's like a comment. Maybe they're like actually like making a statement about that.
I just feel as if there was no sexualization of her at all, it'd be much better.
Like just leave it alone.
Just don't even mention the fact that she's a woman. She's kicking ass. She's fucking destroying people.
Yeah.
Why do we need to talk about her sex?
Is she sexualized in costume?
She's got like a short skirt and ripped tights.
Well.
I mean, it's not like it's not.
Yeah, okay. So it's not like
raiding tombs and
not like the fucking that like smoke assassin out of the new
MSG, MGS, Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
like have you seen the trailer?
What, for which game?
For Metal Gear Solid, the new one.
What's it called? The new one?
Metal Gear Solid.
Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
Oh right, no, I've not seen it. I'm interested in the series, even though I've not played anything beyond Sons of Liberty.
It's very
cinematic. I'm still interested in the story. Still.
It is. Yeah. Well, okay, right, but basically, she's like this. She can like just go all invisible and smoky, right? But like her normal dress is.
What's her character's name? Who is it? You know?
Oh God, I don't know. But like she's just got like these ripped, like tight, like kind of leathery, rubbery trousers on, and then her top half is literally there's just nothing there apart from the smallest like bikini top thing, and like some kind of netting.
And she's an assassin.
Right.
Yeah, she's in the most impractical clothes for being an assassin you could possibly imagine.
You can say that about a lot of the characters in it, though.
And it's like it's so annoying. I'm just like, oh, like why can't she just be wearing assassin's clothes?
And I think that the average age of gamers is going up. I mean, people that were into games when they were younger are now like in their 30s, like us.
Yeah,
and I think they should be aiming the games at us. They shouldn't be aiming the games at 15-year-olds.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
but the thing is it healthy to like let 15-year-olds think like that's my whole point of the whole feminist foxhole right now is like, is it cool to like pull in 15-year-old boys into gaming through the device of having a very scantily clad female character? Because it's basically saying to them it's okay to just like think about women in this way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I think like that's bullshit. They should be we should be like giving them more to go on, like saying like, because they're going to grow up and they're in the generation that's more aware of this kind of thing.
Yeah. But
they're still going to have these hangovers and like mixed messages of like, how should I be thinking about women? And
in the first in Infamous, when you're playing as Delson, there's no female character coming up to Delson saying, "Oh, I'd like to ride you like a bull." I mean, it's not happening when it's a guy. So I just don't understand why they put that in there.
We've probably come a long way, probably since those early Tomb Raider days. You know,
the boobs,
the massive boobs, you know, in the arse. And
there was a cheat where you could get off naked, like if you put in like L1, L2.
But I think back then there was people were talking like it was a massive step. towards equality because you got a female protagonist player, even though she's over sexualized and stuff.
Yeah.
But like the latest Tomb Raider game was good because she wasn't like over sexualized in that. You know,
well, they really dealt with it a bit more.
That was one of my favourite games of last year. That Tomb
maybe I'll get on it and play it then. Maybe
really
I'll, because like I was saying to you before, that like I wasn't really into the. I was into it a little bit when I first started playing it. I liked the adventure aspect of it, but after a while, I just got fed up with the clunkiness of it all, and I just didn't think the game really worked that well for me. You know,
you mean like the original game?
Yeah, the original Tomb Raider.
It's a bit different to that, I would say.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but like if
it's one of those feral games, so it plays a bit like Hitman.
Okay.
You know,
it's a lot like Uncharted as well.
Yeah.
People were saying it's ripped off Uncharted, but Uncharted ripped off the original Tomb Raider. So
I've seen Uncharted in action, and it really reminds me of it. I never played it though.
Well, talking about games that are really similar, like I've seen a lot of footage of Shadow of Mordor.
Oh yeah.
And like I do not understand how there isn't a lawsuit happening somewhere because
from Batman.
No, from fucking Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah.
Like, of course, there's this other whole mechanic of like, you know, this political mechanic of like sort of slowing your way through and getting people to fuck each other over.
Yeah.
But like when I watched it, I just was like, it's like it's like this is just Assassin's Creed.
Apparently, it's a cross between Batman and Assassin's Creed.
Like
the fighting of Batman is apparently exactly the same.
Yeah, I was like, I sort of feel like someone somewhere should be suing someone. Do you know what I mean?
You have to climb a tower to open up each area.
Yeah, but like the way he moves, the whole way he moves and looks, I was just like, this is just like. Yeah. I even thought I thought maybe it's the same developers, and I was like, but it's not.
I'm very excited about arriving.
I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah.
I want to play it, but like, I sort of feel like, I don't know. I don't think anyone's making enough noise about it. Maybe it's just me, but I sort of feel like as a modder. Like, you see a lot of people basically stealing other people's ideas or not crediting people where credit's due. And so I'm always really careful about that whole like intellectual property thing when it comes to games. And there's that part of me that's like, is this okay that it's this close to another game? Is it cool? And he's just playing it and not talking about it. Like, is that just saying that it's okay? I don't know.
I think that there has to always be some crossover when it comes to games. I mean,
there's always going to be influence.
Yeah. But I mean, I think I would need to play it more to see what that's like.
Maybe that's just what they're focusing on in the videos. Yeah. Maybe there's like enough.
Oh, right.
There's more to it in another way that it removes it from
and
that.
That's definitely true of movies, you know.
Yeah.
Because like trailers will always try to make the film look like it's mimicking, you know, some of the genre that was really successful, or some of the film that was really successful. Yeah. And you go in and it's something completely unique.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to. Maybe they're like, we want like the Assassin's Creed audience, so like let's get them in, you know.
Yeah. It can work poorly though, because you might be like, I'm not really into those Assassin's Creed games, so you never play this other game. Then it turns out it was totally different and actually better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
They're coming for me.
That's what German emergency services saying like to anyone listening to the podcast. That wasn't just an effect that we put on there to sound all European. That's exactly what they sound like.
Ouroboros, as they would say. Yeah, so as I was saying, the DLC just looks just as good, obviously, as the main game. It's really, really fun. I noticed the other night when I was playing, I was just basically pressing the flash button to go fast.
Yeah.
And speeding around Seattle for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Just because it was fun.
Like, I think I was listening to a podcast at the time, and I was just like, I caught myself after 10 minutes going, I'm still speeding around this for no reason.
Yeah, it's just immense fun.
Yeah. So all the kind of dynamics of the game are really fun, but it just doesn't come together like the first one, or like the main game, because we were talking earlier about the good and bad. This doesn't have any of that at all, so you can do anything you want, but you're still doing things that he did in the main game, like you're still doing graffiti.
Yeah.
But when he does the good graffiti in the main game, it's a kind of call to arms to people to stand up against the people that are repressing them.
He's like a raising awareness.
Yeah, whereas she's just doing graffiti for graffiti's sake.
Oh, right. Yeah. Evil graffiti.
Yeah, basically. So
bad graffiti.
So it's basically taking the message out of the game by not having that in it. So it's kind of weird that way. And incidentally, in the first game, when you want to do the graffiti, you turn your controller sideways and you shake it.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Because it's got the speakers and the control pad. You hear the little.
That's really good.
And,
that's quite cool.
So that's cool. all the side missions are basically the same as the side missions from the first game, but they've just dressed them up differently. In the first game, you need to find a secret agent in a crowd. You find him, he starts running, you have to chase after him and get him. In this, you find a ball of light that you can get in his neon. It goes fast, you need to catch it.
Yeah.
So, and then, like, in the first game, there were drug busts. You would destroy the drug dealers and destroy the drugs. In this, it's Russian gangsters you attack.
But it's just all the same. It's basically the same content, just rehashed.
Yeah, they basically just redressed it. So yeah, that's kind of disappointing. It's only $11.99. If you really enjoyed the gameplay of the first one, then I would buy it. They've got a new thing in it called combat arenas, where basically you practice. It's a good little reference because the guy who's generating the things that you're practicing is Eugene from the main game.
Yeah.
He just mentions his name and you can't see him. So he's creating these computer generated things that you need to battle against, and it's kind of just like a combat arena where you hone your skills.
Get
XP. But the most interesting part of the game is Seattle. And for this combat arena, you're locked in this fucking big room. They should be getting that out into the streets of Seattle where they've spent all the money.
Yeah.
Where things are more interesting. And just let us see the place. I mean, it just seems a really weird decision.
But they've got it there, but they're just not using it. And you're like, oh, why aren't you doing that?
The combat arena's fun, but it's just why have it in this little room where you could have it in the city. So yeah, it just feels like some missed opportunities. I think most review sites have been given the original game a very good. This seems to be getting mediocre, and I would agree with that. That just seems to be it.
I think that's the thing we've come across a lot though the last couple of weeks when we've talked about stuff, is the main gripe we've got about most games is that they've missed an opportunity. And it's like it's really annoying that they can spend so much money on a game and completely overlook an aspect of it, you know, like we could have the battle arena, or we could why couldn't we just make the battle arena even like a fucking holodeck or something, you know, which is just a representation of Seattle, which is the same. It's Seattle.
Yeah.
But like maybe it's not really Seattle. It's just like in this thing. Yeah. So at least they're using this world that they've built.
Copied and pasted it onto another part.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, just like say like, you know, maybe it's got like a weird dome around it or some shit. Yeah. But like essentially you'd be like, well, we're going to use this since we built it all. But no, they're just going to use this little room.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And it's like, why would you do that?
A bit frustrating.
Yeah.
The decision making just doesn't seem to be right. But as I said, it's only $11.99. Whatever value you have on your money, you'll decide to buy it or not.
Well, maybe they've designed it. People will buy that as a standalone game, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I enjoy the Seattle bits," and then maybe they go like,
back.
Buy.
Yeah.
So again, though, we come into capitalist decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, a lot of people need to make decisions based on money if they want to make video games.
Yeah.
So we need to skirt that line between having your integrity and having the money to realise your integrity.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we talk about news?
Yeah, what's on the news?
Did you see the Far Cry 4? I know you're a Far Cry fan. Did you see the 4 weapons trailer?
No, I watched the kind of introduction where the guy's in the sort of caravan.
Yeah.
And they're coming through the border check and whatnot. I saw that, but I haven't seen anything else other than that yet.
Yesterday they released a weapons trailer.
Yeah.
The weapons look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Quite similar to Far Cry 3, but the impact. Just watching the trailer, you could almost feel the vibration in the control pad. It looks really cool.
It just looks really fucking solid, like good noise and just like
rocket launchers you fire into the air and then mortars down on top of.
Oh fuck yeah, man!
So you get a mortar. One really cool bit,
you kind of mark your target and then just fucking fire it and it just fucks off and then just comes down.
It's one of these mortars you fire from the ground, so you're not holding it above.
Sweet.
It's one of these ones that just fire from the ground, so it looks really cool.
Nice.
They've got a bit where you're like, I don't know if I never completed 3 because I got the PlayStation 4 just when I was sidetracked, but there's a bit where you can get like a deer cut off like a steak of meat, and throw it at someone, and then a tiger will go and maul that person.
Oh, sweet!
I don't know where the tigers come from, but you just throw the meat at this person, the tiger chases the meat, then mauls the person. So
I always like those weird little mechanics, like in the reverse pickpocket in Fallout 3.
Yeah.
You can like put a grenade. You can like pickpocket a grenade into someone's things, so they get the like exploding pants achievements and stuff.
And you were talking earlier about Hitman. Apparently, in this Shadow of Mordor game, you can decide. You have an objective to kill someone, and you have like a few different ways you can do it. You can either go in all guns blazing, but there's also one where you can poison the food.
Yeah.
So the whole party go crazy and start killing each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you come off and pick off the guy.
Yeah, just take him out in all the confusion.
Yeah, so I like the creative ways of killing people.
But I think like that's something that's really missing. Like it's when I think of like if I wanted to make a computer game, then I always try and think in terms of like dynamic.
Yeah.
Like I want everything to be dynamic so that like there aren't just these set ways to complete a mission.
Yeah.
But like if everyone's behaviour, if all the NPCs have got a certain behavioural pattern. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of set in stone. But like, you know, if this happens, then this. If this happens, then that. Then essentially, you should be able to do anything, and they should react. Yeah. So like, it could be completely dynamic. But like, I think maybe developers are like, this is too erratic. Maybe it's not going to work. Maybe one of them, maybe they'll all just run off and die, and we're about to complete the mission. But like, I always think like, surely that can be achieved.
Yeah.
You know, and I think like every time I see stuff like that, I feel like we're a step closer.
The payoff's going to be so much better, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, like imagine if
more
like
organic.
You go like, this is the guy you've got to hit. You got to kill this dude. These are all your weapon choices. You can climb around these areas. Like this is the arena, and you can basically fucking do it however you want.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And just as long as you get him killed and get out of there, then it's all good. You know.
So Far Cry 4 is out next month. Are you excited about that? Are you going to be buying that?
I'm gonna have to really. I know it'd be a bad show if we don't review that. But yeah, like because that's is it just PC release first?
No, I think it will all come at the same time.
Because I'm not. Yeah, I always don't know if Far Cry is like PC centric or not.
No, I think they'll drop it at the same time. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but like for sure, man. Because I really enjoyed 3. Like they're such like solid, kind of like fun, just kill people games.
Did you play 2?
Yeah. I played 2
I didn't like 2 so much.
2 was like still a bit like I didn't like 1 either, but 2 was still a bit like it didn't really work very well. Like it wasn't like the car driving wasn't particularly good, and like the combat wasn't brilliant. It was like it got everything, but they hadn't quite perfected everything yet. So everything. It felt like sometimes you know like when you're playing fucking GTA, it's not a driving simulator. So like the driving isn't simulation standard, but it's still quite good. Like
you just keep it playable, really.
Yeah, and then like the combat mechanics aren't like it's not purely it's like just a shooter game. It's all these things, but they like do everything quite well. And I felt like in Far Cry 2, they just didn't do anything particularly well. Yeah. It did lots of things, but none of them well. And then like in Far Cry 3, it was all kind of like it all felt a bit better. Like it all felt a bit more fucking. Like it all gelled a bit nicer, you know.
I know they'll try and make it realistic, but see when Far Cry 2, when you're gun jammed,
you're
middle of a gunfight, and you're
like,
it was so annoying. And like when you went by an outpost, you killed all the guys, and then you forgot something. You had to drive back. They'd respawn.
They'd all be there again, and you're like, oh fuck.
And it was really, really hard. So yeah. Next piece of news is Walking Dead Season 1 and Season 2 coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
This month, in line for I imagine the new season coming up.
Yeah.
Have you played the Telltale games?
I haven't played a single one of them, but it might be worth fucking doing that. Actually, like you just go through the whole lot of them.
Yeah,
we could probably do that in the next week.
Is it that same company that do that interesting range of Back to the Future games as well?
I don't know about that.
I don't know what are they.
I've just heard about them. You know.
Never heard of them.
It's like just more like an interactive story.
So I think they look similar, so it just made me think they were the same.
Well, is that like
an interactive story?
What's that other one? The Wolf inside.
Wolf Among Us.
The Wolf Among Us.
That's
like, is that the same company that do that as well? Yeah, like they're doing these really interesting ideas.
They've been around for ages. They used to do what was the name of that game? They used to do. It wasn't Jack and Daxter. It was something like that though.
What was the premise of it like?
They've always been the same. Always these kind of
just like following a story through, really.
Point and click adventure, yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're doing Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And Tales from the Borderlands they've got as well.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, that'll be coming up within the next.
I also it's just really interested in the concept for a game.
Yeah.
It's just like you're essentially just like following this storyline through. And it is a linear story, but it's kind of that. It's like the get into the end of it.
It is, yeah. I just looked it up. Back to the Future is Telltale as well.
Oh, is that right?
So
yeah,
that's
cool.
The design of it there,
very nice.
For the benefit of the tape, I'm just showing everyone a picture of the cover of a game.
Yeah, they've basically just telltaled up the artwork from the original movie poster.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty sweet.
Maybe you can put that on the little badge for the show this week.
Yeah, we'll have to put it up somewhere so people can look at it.
So yeah, apparently I'm really interested in The Walking Dead. Apparently you make decisions that are kind of heart-wrenching about killing people, making decisions where characters you like and it will die and stuff like that.
I'm used to that though.
Yeah, because you're a bastard.
Like for me, I'd just be like playing it with a box of Kleenex. like yeah.
We're going to get the 5-year-old girl and we're going to beat a zombie to death with a 5-year-old girl. Just using her as a bat.
Well, as long as she's already on her way to being a zombie, that's okay.
Okay, but if not...
For the censors, at least.
Yeah.
I don't care, man. I'll beat anyone to death with a 5-year-old girl. Like...
Kickstarter made less money and funded fewer games in 2014.
Yeah.
You think the fad, the kind of... the idea of it is getting old, or do you think people are losing trust in them, or what do you think? Because I mean, they use this for funding films as well, don't they?
I think
they do.
I think we've hit like a saturation point, and it's become normal that Kickstarter is so normal now. You know, you hear about it all the time, and I've become really skeptical about it. And the news in the last couple of months about like these kind of like the failed projects, and I sort of like I think people are losing faith in the idea of it. But like I think the core idea is good.
Yeah,
and I think it'll always have a place, but. Like, maybe it's just falling out of grace a little bit and then it'll sort of plateau again.
I mean, are you sure it's not just... there's other crowdfunding...
Sorry, people. Whoa. Couldn't hold that one in. I was just like sitting there going...
That was the loudest sneeze I've ever heard.
You can see it on the monitor as well. It's just this big peak in the sound.
Maybe I've infected you with my virus.
I think I'm good. Yeah,
I mean, there's other crowdfunding sources now. Maybe it's a bit of that too.
Yeah, it's market saturation.
Maybe there's just because there's so many other sites. You know, maybe Kickstarter's not the only place to go to anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of it is that because there's still successful projects coming out of them, successful films coming out of crowdfunding campaigns. And they're not always talking about Kickstarter when they cite them either.
Yeah.
You know.
Have you ever funded anything over it? Or any of those?
No, I've very recently just started making any money in my life, so I might consider it now.
Yeah.
Or I never tried to raise any money now either. No.
You could try and raise money now.
I could do, yeah. I'd have to think of an idea first.
Next, DayZ.
Yeah,
is definitely going to be multi-platform.
Yeah, well, I heard about that. So, we've known for a little while that it's going to PlayStation 4 because it's just been everywhere, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But now they're talking about Xbox One as well, and. Yeah, man. Like, I don't really want to knock at it because I know a lot of the PC community. You know, there's a jaded hardcore that just basically anything Bohemia do. There's this hardcore people that are like, oh fucking yeah, this that it's all wrong. Like they're making all the wrong decisions, and maybe they are, but it's their decision to make. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? If you're so fucking good at making computer games, then why aren't you a game making studio?
Yeah.
So fuck off, man. I sort of think let them do what they want to do, and I really think that if they've got these platforms to release to, then that has to afford them more access to the actual engine that they're working with. Surely they'll get more budget. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're going to be working with DirectX 11 and things like that. So it's got to have a positive impact on the PC version, which to me is the only true version. But then, I can't be too game snobby about it because when it comes out on other platforms, there's gonna be a whole new audience that hits, man.
Do you think there's a place for it in console? Do you think people will buy it?
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
Because it just seems to me like a very kind of PC type game.
Yeah, I mean the control for me. I wonder how they're going to do controls because there's so many keys. There's so many things. You literally your hand is all over the keyboard when you're playing. You know.
Not only that though, it's born from modding. It just seems to be a total. It's the child of modding, so it just seems to be a kind of a thing that would always be going on PC and not onto a console.
Yeah, but if they can make the transition, if they can figure out the controls properly, and I don't really want to knock at them, but they really need to work on the graphical, the graphics of the game. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like a next generation game, and it isn't. You know what I mean? The engine isn't really that advanced, and there are problems with it all. But I think coming out onto the big consoles, it can only be a good thing for the game. Yeah. Maybe the game isn't a particularly good thing for the console, but the other way around, like the consoles must be a good thing for the game because like you're going to get more. You're going to get more, like I said, a bigger audience. You're going to get different people coming into the game, and like it would just be interesting to see like how it affects, like for instance, just the Reddit board for DayZ. Because at the minute it's all these like PC people. And then as soon as console people start going into that as well, then you're going to get this clash then. You're going to get this really cool, interesting clash of like, oh, we're the PC people who've been playing it for like years, so like we know best. Yeah. And then you get the console people coming in and saying, yeah, but like we just want to play the game for the game and not interested in the history.
The thing about it is, as a PC product, it's a constantly evolving thing. For a console, they're going to have to finish it and release it.
Yeah, of course, but like it's almost been out a year now. It's been like last December the 16th, it came out. And we're nearly fucking 10 months. We're 10 months away from that now, and like when I look at the game when I first played it on like the fucking 17th, I was like, yeah, I'm downloading it, I got it. And when I look at it from then to now, a hell of a lot's changed. Like it's running smoother. The graphics, they've really worked on certain aspects of the graphics. They've worked on mechanics. They've got lots of new features coming. You know what I mean? It's like they're constantly cramming stuff in, and they're constantly under fire from people saying, "Oh, like you're putting all these weapons in, but you still haven't fixed this or you haven't fixed that." And I kind of think like if they've got pressure to release on console, then surely they're going to have to get it out. They're going to have to get it finished quicker, which means it's going to be a good thing for PC gamers as well.
Is it going to be finished on the PC though? Is it not going to be something that just keeps on improving?
Yeah, it will. But
so would you say that the console gamers are getting an inferior game?
Well, no, because it's going to update, isn't it? You'll still get like your fixes come through patches. Like as soon as they really like, there's no reason that they can't constantly upgrade the console version at exactly the same rate they upgrade the PC version. Because like I turned on GTA 5 the other day and had this massive update, and I was like, oh, okay. So like, I don't think it's a problem, man. We will accept now that even console games are taking up hard drive space. It's not the old days where it's all on the CD. You know what I mean?
Always online.
Yeah, like now it's like you're probably always online. It's reading fuckloads from your hard drive. Like so, updates for the console are just normal now. So I don't think that's an issue. I don't think console gamers will get an inferior product. You know what I mean?
Last week we spoke about the Steam curation. There's been a few things on Twitter this week.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of criticism. I think Jeff Gassman and Bombcast tweeted something like, why should we do Steam's job for them? It's their shitty interface. So why should we spend our time clearing it up for them?
So what exactly are they asking?
They're basically asking people to set up like recommendation pages. So it's easier for you to find the good games.
Yeah.
So basically, Giant Bomb would get one, and then they would recommend the PC games that they like.
Right.
Yeah.
It also brings in, for me, a lot of people have been saying that. I think Jeff Gassman said that they were getting people contacting them, saying, "This is my game. Can you put it on your Steam page?"
Yeah.
So it's a funny line between like
you're sort of getting lobbied as well.
It gets back to like kind of things behind that Gamergate, where you've got this kind of relationship between journalism and the
and developers
people making the games, and it's I think they're getting too close, and it's so basically you could I'm not going to there's no way this would happen with places like Giant Bomb or GameSpot or anything like that, but you're going to have these smaller like YouTubers.
Yeah,
they're going to have their channels that are maybe taking bribes from game developers to recommend their games.
If they have a lot of followers.
Yeah.
So suddenly then this becomes part of the fucking the advertising budget for developers.
Exactly.
Is like paying off.
And although you could say that there's YouTubers have admitted to getting paid from Microsoft already, but when you've got it in Steam, you've got it in a direct link to the purchasing of the game. When you watch it on YouTube, you would need to then go on to another platform to buy the game. If you're reading this on Steam, you just need to click a button.
Yeah.
You've got the game. You know what I mean?
I think it's kind of unhealthy.
Yeah. And there's also when you comment on a game on this curation, you can link up to your own page. So you could go into something saying, "This game's shite. Here's the link to my videos."
Yeah.
Right.
So they've got all these YouTubers that will be doing that as basically advertising.
So basically they're just opening it up to a giant shitstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably a step backwards now.
But then again, with Steam, you've already got the whole of the rest of the internet right there as well.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, man. When it's directly linked,
yeah, when you have to open another, there's a step between opening another window. You know what I mean? It's just
all the way over there.
Yeah, right click tab.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think like essentially all they're doing is just cluttering. Yeah. They're just going to clutter the internet even more with what are going to turn out to be useless pages.
Yeah.
Because the information you glean from these pages is going to be so jaded or like bought that it's just going to be like, this is useless now. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be like the internet 2 years after everyone got it.
Yeah.
Like it's just going to be completely useless because like you'll be searching for like good information and you'll just be getting shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's I think, yeah, man, maybe it's a good idea and maybe it'll go somewhere in a few years, but we're going to have to just like, it's going to be crap.
It's going to be a few years until we can trust it, I think.
Yeah, and they sort of like weed out and like sort of, you know, stop people like these like smaller outfits going on there just for promotion purposes.
Steam are going to have to curate the curation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a whole another job for them.
Maybe they can open it up to other people to curate the curators.
Yeah,
sure.
Like mediate and watch them and do this and But then they'll be sort of outsourcing that, saying, "Oh, but now we want people to mediate."
Yeah,
you know, and then so people will be doing that for free as well. Yeah.
PlayStation TV comes out next month in America. This month in America and next month in Europe.
Yeah, why did America get it first?
Because I don't know.
I love the way you started up on the track then and then just like backpedaled. You like our listeners.
Yeah, so it comes with remote play for your PlayStation 4. So you've got the PlayStation 4 hooked up to your TV.
Yeah. Your
boyfriend or girlfriend wants to watch your TV. You can get your PlayStation TV into your PC, and you can stream your PlayStation 4 games on your PC.
Oh, okay, nice.
So I mean, I think that's really cool. You can stream it into another TV and somewhere else, another room, for example. 700 games will be available on the first day. Library of PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2.
And are they free?
Yes.
You said that with such certainty.
99% sure they're free.
Okay.
Yeah. Access to PlayStation Store, of course.
Yeah.
And Netflix, all your streaming, that kind of thing.
Have you looked at what games are on offer and if they're all, you know, quality titles?
Like Rayman Origins, Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, right.
So even like more modern indie games, like Spelunky is going to be in the first batch of 700.
Silent Hill, maybe.
Never looked at all 700, but I imagine Silent Hill would
take you quite a while to look at 700. I mean, if it took you a second to look at each one, you'd be looking at like
that's 700 seconds or so.
700 seconds, which is just ages.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
And it doesn't take 1 second; it takes like 3 or 4.
Yeah, but you could glance.
So you'd be looking at like 36.
But you have to commit them all to memory as well.
Yeah.
It's not a work, man. I don't know why I thought that he would have done that.
I'm the hard-working member.
Asking a lot, really, isn't
it? And of course, PlayStation Now, which is going to be a streaming service for PlayStation 4 games, will be available for it as well.
Cool.
€99. It's going to be 99 German euros. It's going to be
99 of your German euros.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And the last bit of news, a Japanese poll has said that the worst thing for boyfriends to collect is action figures.
Yeah?
The worst thing?
The girlfriends think that the worst thing for boyfriends to collect is action figures.
Wouldn't the worst thing to collect
be like other girls' pants?
Trophies from their victims.
Wait a minute. This action figures went higher than women's underwear.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was actually, and I hadn't read that. That's like,
you hadn't read my maths.
I hadn't read your 80s maths paper notes. But like, yeah, that's crazy.
Are they given the option though?
No, I don't think so.
It's just whatever they said.
It's just
like whatever the survey said.
Yeah, the survey said. Yeah, like.
So number 1 was action figures, and a few down the list was women's underwear, and below that was porn. So Japanese women would rather have their boyfriends collecting porn and women's underwear than action figures.
That really says something about Japanese culture.
Yeah,
it's a bit false though, isn't it? Because, like,
how many of those answers were definitely not like sort of ironic?
When you say collect, people automatically think of things that people like
collect.
People actually collect.
Yeah.
So they're thinking, records. They're thinking, typewriters.
Yeah.
Like Tom Hanks collects typewriters, so they might think of that if they're a big Tom Hanks
fan. They don't instantly go to like prostitutes' hands.
Yeah, they don't automatically go, the fingers of their victims.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, if you were to take that leap, then obviously panties.
Yeah.
It's so easy to work that into a news narrative, you know.
I don't. But I don't sort of like. If
I'm sure that the prostitute fingers, the fingers of the prostitute victims from their killings is probably number 8.
Can we just specify that this is male and female prostitutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I try and keep it. I try and collect the same amount of each.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to discriminate.
But male prostitutes' fingers are bigger, so
they do take a bit more room.
Yeah.
But because like the women prostitutes tend to have slightly slenderer fingers.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I find that the male fingers have got more fat on, so they don't get as dry when you're cooking them.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pick them up like a chicken wing.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. That's quite good.
I'm just looking over here and seeing your Spider-Man action figure.
Yeah.
Has that cost you a lot of sex down the years?
I don't know.
Is that why he's sitting so effeminately?
No, because actually, me and my girlfriend take it in turns to pose him in different positions.
Tom,
and
Tom,
the other
he speaks about.
She lives here somewhere, but I think he keeps her in the loft.
Oh, okay.
Someone bought me a Cyberman action figure once, and you never know. It could have destroyed my life, and I don't even know it.
Maybe they were actually sabotaging your life.
Yeah.
They're like, "Here you are, Tom. I bought you a present."
Yeah, if you put this on a shelf,
yeah,
they'll like you more.
Yeah, girls will like you for it.
Be good if there was a sliding doors type film of your life.
Without action figures.
With or without the Cyberman action figure.
You're the head of Google in the other
one. Yeah, because people took me seriously in that timeline.
Yeah.
I love like in your old dream you got like the DeLorean and stuff like that.
Yeah, I sold it to Aaron for 20 quid because I was really broke.
Didn't you have the Blues Brothers car as well?
No, I had the Back to the Future car from Back to the Future 2 because the wheels went. And I had Mr. Fusion and stuff. I had one other thing. I can't remember what it was. I had lots of aliens.
Yeah, I remember you had lots of aliens.
The model
stuff.
kits and that.
Yeah.
I don't have them all anymore.
Oh,
so if it wasn't for that, you'd probably be waking up in a Japanese threesome.
It'd be like Hugh Hefner.
That was when I was a child. I think it's okay to do things when you're a child, like paint model kits and things. And as an adult, fuck it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like
Japanese women coming round here telling us what we can do with our action figures.
Yeah, I've had enough.
I'm making a stand right now.
I'm gonna fucking get down to the Hasbro shop right now.
Yeah.
This is happening.
Buy everything you've got.
Yeah. I'm gonna stock up on olive drab and get going.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna call up Todd McFarlane and be like, I want one of every one of your figures that you've ever made, and I want them now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
The female shop assistant will be so impressed she'll want to go home with you.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I need to go to B&Q as well and buy like a massive shelf. And they'll be like, "What are you buying this massive shelf for?"
And you'll be like, "You never guess."
Yeah. I'm gonna buy all this stuff because I can do what I want.
And then you'll just hear like a nationwide goosh from all the women in the nation at once. They'll be like, "Oh my god,
that guy knows his own mind."
Yeah,
it's a bit different now. The geek chic is in.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever has been, to be honest with you. I think geek chic is something that exists in the minds of people that consider themselves geeks, which usually aren't geeks.
No, I think you might be right, because I completely hate the term.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, I didn't realise there was a word for someone being interested in something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
didn't I have to apologise?
So I enjoy a hobby that involves a computer. So now I'm a geek.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't think I am actually.
Yeah.
Like, would a geek do this? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Right. Exactly.
We'll just leave the listeners to kind of guess what Andy did there.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it. Yeah. Like for them, they could have just been like, well, he must have done something really awesome there.
Just to let you know, it will be etched in my mind forever. So
yeah,
etched
indeed.
Etching is a geek hobby. I'm going to say etchings. Let's do some etchings.
New releases.
Yeah.
This week, Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS.
Yeah.
You ever been a Super Smash Bros?
Never. Hate it.
Me neither.
No.
Tom?
I don't think I've ever used a 3DS before.
I've got one knocking around somewhere.
Potentially.
Just over there.
That's a Game Boy. Now, right?
It's a modern day Game Boy.
So we brought Tom in for the film cast.
Yeah. Shadow of Mordor, as we spoke about, fucking gem and reunification, ruining my evening.
From that book, isn't it?
That book, yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Interestingly, they never had Lord of the Rings on the front of the game.
No, it's just Shadow of Mordor.
Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, do you think they're like distancing themselves a little bit from it?
I don't know. Maybe because the films were so bad.
Yeah, it might be something to do with that.
Yeah. So,
Forza Horizon 2. Yeah.
I do like the Forza games, but they're always too expensive when they come out, and I've got a real issue with the price of those Forza games.
Plus, no one has sent us an Xbox One yet. So
no one sent us an Xbox One. No one sent us any Forza games. So fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't really appreciate us. You're getting this podcast for free, and you won't even buy us a fucking Xbox.
Yeah. I mean, if we charged just €1 for each fucking download, we'd have at least
half
enough.
of Forza,
We'd have at least enough to buy a pizza or something. Do you know what I mean?
Alien Isolation.
Oh.
Look forward to that, Tom.
Oh. Yeah, I don't even own a PC or anything I can play it on.
Do you reckon you
I've
might
been following really closely the development of it?
Yeah.
It just looks so good. Especially since like all Alien games that have like pretty much ever been made have been obviously based on sort of the colonial marines and stuff from Alien.
Yeah.
And this one, the whole sort of philosophy and decor is all very Ridley Scott Alien oriented.
Back to the fucking original.
It's like, yeah, we're in the future. Yeah, it's 2014 and this is our vision of the future. But here's all these CRT screens and stuff.
Yeah, no, with green shit on them.
Yeah, and you're just fighting one alien, and it's all survival and sort of like horror elements rather than just gunning down, xenomorphs and stuff. So,
it's just the one as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like it is really back to that basic, like this is after you, and you've got to get away from it.
Yeah, it looks legitimately terrifying.
Yeah, it does.
There's such a massive difference between survival horror and like action adventure game.
Yeah,
and even with the films as well, like Alien. We were talking about Alien vs Predator the other night.
Yeah,
that's not survival horror.
No, it's an action.
It's a different genre from the original film. So,
yeah.
But so hopefully this game will be good.
Yeah.
Apparently the best way to play it is through the Oculus Rift.
I would imagine you would be very immersed in that way. That would be terrifying,
yeah.
Like the thing is, Tom, is this game a big enough deal for you that you would be like, I think I might go out and buy a PC just so I can play it?
Yeah, I mean, like it's. I mean, I kind of need to get one anyway because most of the work I do these days, like it's on like sort of PC software rather than like Mac software.
Yeah,
is like what I used to be doing all the time. So I kind of need one anyway, but this could easily be like the catalyst.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just going to do it.
Gets me down to the computer shop.
Yeah.
And like, I buy a computer from them. But like, I'm also a bit scared to play it as well. Like, I'm thrilled at the idea that something could thrill me that much.
But what if it's shit?
No, I'm not worried about it being shit. I'm scared that like, I'll be too scared to play it.
Do you reckon you buy an Oculus Rift?
How much are they these days?
I think 200.
Is that all?
That's not bad, actually. That's actually fairly reasonable.
And with that, do you need your computer as well?
Yeah.
It's just a device.
Yeah, like
into it.
just like you just like buy an Oculus Rift, you just put it on.
Yeah.
And you just like alien isolation, and it's just on. Like
that happened like last time when. Like I'll rent like The Rock on VHS and like I don't know what to do with it. I'm just looking at it.
Yeah, it's like looking at the thing. It's like
you open up the flap.
Oh, you're like, I can't afford an Oculus Rift, so I'll buy a Virtual Boy instead. Do you remember those fucking things? And they were just all red.
Yeah.
Oh, they were horrible.
Well, those things where you're scanning through.
No, it's like it was Nintendo Boy. I'm sure it was Virtual Boy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it was just like a VR headset.
Yeah.
Right, with the games are really
game in the middle.
The games are really shit.
One of those LCD games, but it's in the headset and it's backlit.
Yeah, but everything, all the graphics were in red, and it was just really terrible. And it never really worked. Like, I don't think there were really any proper games that actually took advantage of what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a bit crap.
So if I buy a computer, it's going to be like $1,000, isn't it? And if you get like an Oculus Rift, it's just like
you could probably buy a good PC for about 600.
Yeah, well, I think I went budget, man. I got mine for like. For €666, which is the price of the beast, right?
Yeah.
And then I spent like another 200 and something about after 3 months. No, it was closer to 300, and that was on a really good graphics card and a power supply.
You're talking euros?
Euros, yeah.
So that's about what, £600 maybe all in?
About sort of just under £600 for it was like an 8-core. Thing, not into the hardware side of it,
right.
But it runs like every game I play on it can run it like it's fine. There's no worries. Yeah, everything runs fine. Like I've never had a problem with it, and so I probably spent like $1,000, and that got me like a decent setup, and that works for all the applications I want to use as well.
Yeah.
So like that's great, but yeah, man. But now like you can get the same setup that I've got for even cheaper. So yeah, you could get one for under $1,000. I would have thought, but then with the OC on top,
yeah,
the OC,
the OR. I myself sound like an idiot.
The Orange County.
I was all like, OC, don't mention the OC.
The OC
don't call it that. Yeah,
the OC disorder.
Yeah. No, like there's this disorder I was talking about before. I always call it like the double check disorder. People are like, What you mean, like OCD? And I know when people wear like check shorts and then a check shirt as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Germans.
Like double
Lots
denim.
of, you see lots of German dudes. Yeah, it's like the check version of double denim. The double check.
They checked themselves, then they wrecked themselves.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Wow.
But I saw
We've gone
dudes.
there again.
Yeah, I saw dudes wearing like check Bermuda shorts with like a check short sleeved shirt.
Yeah.
And it's like you've checked out, man. You know what I mean? You've just done it.
Do you think
You
you're
can,
the
check,
first,
you can check out, but you can never leave. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's it, yeah, man.
Do you think you're the first person from the 90s to use the term Bermuda shorts?
Did I say Bermuda shorts?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
You know, last week I described something as being bow.
Yeah, I took it back.
Yeah.
I took it back straight away. I did take it back, and I could have edited that out, right? But I left it in there because I'm real.
Shaman.
Fuck you all.
Last two new releases: Drive Club for the PlayStation 4, and for Americans, NBA 2K15 basketball.
Do you think that's just for Americans?
I think so.
Well,
Americans use a singular term for a collective vehicle.
Okay.
Collective term for a singular vehicle.
They do that with collective nouns in general.
We were just talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, it's a big issue for my job because I do a lot of technical writing.
Yeah.
So that like normally when you're talking about like a company or something, you might treat it as because it's a compound noun. You might treat it as a plural, you know, in like British English. But in like US English, it's always singular, so it gets really annoying. So I always get my writing corrected by Americans.
Nice. We gave them the fucking language.
Yeah. Well, you say we. You're Scottish.
I gave you guys a fucking language. So, thanks so much for everyone for the support so far.
Oh yeah, we need to just say like just fucking. I don't know how many people tried to complete our challenge of getting one more person to sort of follow us, but like
The challenge has been renewed.
Yeah, the challenge has been renewed every week.
Yeah.
Every show. We're going to do it again in a bit.
If you like us, please tell someone. It means we can keep doing the show if we have an audience.
Yeah.
Subscribe on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at Podestrians.
Yeah.
Pedestrians.net. Facebook, Pedestrians. Tell your friends.
Yeah, and we've just signed up for Elo as well, so we'll be available on that pretty soon
yeah,
too.
I'm going to jump on that.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just tell people.
Yeah, to get people on there. And is there anything else?
No.
This is the end.
Go on.
All right, we'll do it. Yeah. So I was thinking, right, at the end of the show, maybe you could just fade out with you guys explaining to me what the Oculus Rift is.